Let's talk about it. Real truth and power. Health. Well.
They wiped the archives, said I was divisive, said I was too loud. I've got one shot to bring real truth and power back, or the community loses its voice. It started as a podcast, just the mic, just truth. Then came the guests, doctors, entrepreneurs, revolutionaries. We laughed, we argued, we built something sacred. But the deeper we went, the more resistance hit. Algorithms buried us. Platforms ghosted us. Not because we lied, but because we told the truth. I was ready to walk away. Then, after practice, one of my players, 16 years old, pulls me aside. Dead serious, he goes,
"Coach, that podcast, that was the first time I heard someone actually speaking to us."
Then he smirks.
"Also, you kind of went viral on my group chat. Don't let it die."
That was it. I rebuilt the studio from scratch, mic back on, files restored, and this time, I hit record like it's war. Real truth and power is back. Raw, necessary, unstoppable. New shows drop soon. Subscribe now. Share this. And revisit the episodes they didn't want you to hear. Lock.
You are now tuned in to Real Truth and Power, the show that uplifts the community with health, wealth, and knowledge of self. Here's your host, Everett Winchester.
Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. Got a different kind of show tonight. So we're going to definitely go in on some powerful topics. But first of all, thank you for joining. Welcome to the Real Truth and Power podcast, where we provide health, wealth, and knowledge of self. My name is Everett Winchester. I am your host. This is a UNIA show. So thank you for joining in, and for all those you'll see about the UNIA throughout the show if you're unaware. If you are on Facebook, if you are on YouTube, do me this favor real quick, because we got some important things to talk about. Do me a favor. It's absolutely free. Let's get it going. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let's get all the information out. And if you're on YouTube or Facebook or anything else, Instagram, hit that share button. Let's get all this information out. Very, very powerful show tonight. Very powerful show. For those who don't know, we're streaming on Real Truth and Power on YouTube, and also UNIA Rock Media on YouTube. Do me that favor. If you're up there and you're new, hit the subscribe button. So we can get this information out. You'll always get alerts and everything like that. So do me this favor and hit that subscribe button. All right, family, let's get into it. Today's topic is going to be a different one, because we're going to talk about some current events as well. there was a situation that happened in Baltimore where elder got jumped at a 7-Eleven. A gun was pulled out on him. A sword was pulled out on him. So we want to talk about that as well. As those who don't know, one of the first shows when we started the podcast back was the youth. Do we have a youth problem in the inner cities, particularly Baltimore? But more importantly, this conversation goes into that a little. Are the black families having issues? Are the black families having issues? Were black families stronger 50 years ago? So hold tight. I'm going to play this real quick commercial, and then we're going to go on the show, and I'm going to show some video of the elder going at these young guys. So stay tight. Don't forget to hit that like button and check out this quick commercial. We're not even going to be long, family. Quick commercial.
You think viral videos take days? Pixel's here to prove otherwise. No time. Everyone's watching. Your story has to pop. Every click counts. Every second spark a share. Boom! 100,000 views before lunch. But what if it still gets lost online? Not with Dynamic Media Legacy. Start your viral video now.
Baltimore don't sleep, we move. Hands in the dirt, feet on the block, food in the streets, knowledge to the youth. This ain't charity, this is power. The Universal Negro Improvement Association running the community like infrastructure. No permission, no waiting. Black self-reliance in real time. Legacy heavy, boots planted, all in the name of Marcus Garvey. UNIA Baltimore Division 106, Barker Clark. We working.
All right, family, that is the UNIA Baltimore Division. You'll hear a lot about that as we go forward with a lot of the things that we're doing. Going to get this video together. So we're going to have, as we usually do, we're going to have multiple things to talk about. I'm going to show the video of the elder. Now, and I do know this elder. I'm not going to say his name. I didn't even know that was him. And then somebody reached out and told me, and we were talking about it at one of our meetings. So I do know the elder in this video. And so that's very alarming and it's very painful, but I'm not going to say his name. But I want everybody to know I do know this person personally, and he is a warrior. He's a soldier in the Pan-African community. I'm going to say this again. This brother I know is a soldier in the Pan-African community. And so before I show the video, get my thoughts together, the topic of tonight is the black family stronger, weaker, or simply different than it was 50 years ago? So we're going to discuss fatherhood. We're going to discuss motherhood, education, crime, violence, economics, mentorship, and so forth. Are we stronger? Are we weaker? What happened to the black family? And so we're going to talk about those things, but I really want to stop and talk about this video real quick. And again, for those, it's going to be a little alarming. This is in Baltimore City. This is going to be the street where our gala is going to be at. Our meeting place for the convention is not far from here. And again, I just found out that I know this brother, spent conversations with him. I've seen this elder walk the Marcus Garvey parade, and he walked side by side with us. So this is going to be very alarming, but we're going to talk about it. So I'm going to play this little clip, and this is what happened. And again, I do know the elder, so bear with me.
Automatic rifle and sword was involved, and we have a warning.
Again, a rifle was involved and a sword. I want everybody to know where this elder went at. It was early in the morning. I don't even think the store was open, but it's a drug spot. I frequently stop by this establishment during the day. It's across from a popular mall, probably the only black mall in Baltimore, called Mondawmin Mall. It's right across the street. I believe it's 4 in the morning, so I don't know why my brother was out there but let's go into it.
Some may find the video in our story to be very disturbing.
Police department need your help identifying these 6 individuals.
Now, I want you guys to look. It looks like our good brother's just trying to go into the store. I think the doors are locked, and they rush up on him. I don't know what really happened. I don't know what's going on here, but you know, this is not the spot you want to be in at night. Maybe they tried to rob him, maybe they tried to jack him, but again, this brother's over 70 years old.
Video provided by police shows an armed robbery and assault in progress. It starts with someone sprinting toward a man police say is 74 years old.
Now let's look at that again, family. Let's look at that again, because see how the young fella comes at him with the gun. Looks like a Tech 9 or something, but I could be wrong.
Department need your help identifying these 6 individuals.
The video provided by police shows an armed robbery and assault in progress. It starts with someone sprinting toward
You can see him with the gun coming at the elder.
a man police say is 74 years old. The person can be seen pointing a semi-automatic rifle at him. The victim is soon surrounded by 5 others. The victim used...
Now, I don't know what's going on. And again, I do know this brother. I know him to be a serious soldier at his age. But it looks like he's ready to go to war with the young guys with the gun. So shout out to the elder. But I want everybody to know, man, if you can avoid conflict with these young guys, please avoid conflict. The guy has a gun. Again, we don't know the dialogue or what happened, what they were trying to do. But I always suggest if you can get up out of there and go, you know, don't try to fight these young guys, because, you know, they have no rules anymore.
a crate to try and fend them off. When someone sneaks up behind him, knocking him to the ground,
6
they all
on
then
1.
start pounding and kicking him while he's on the pavement. We showed the video to convenience store customers.
I see a lot of kids in that video. Senseless, very senseless.
Police say one of the individuals carries and threatens the man with a sword.
Now, not only does one brother have, sorry if you guys heard me twice. Not only does one brother have a gun, someone has a sword. This is crazy. But again, you go there during the day when the business is open. You go there at night. This is a drug stop. You know, this is frequently known for people coming in and buying drugs. So I really was concerned that he was there. And again, I do know the good brother.
This happened around 3:46 a.m. on Liberty Heights. Police haven't said why the man showed up to the store, which was closed at the time. Workers say the store is open from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Detectives have not said who the car parked in front of the store belongs to, pounding and kicking him while he's on the pavement.
We
showed the video to convenience store customers.
I see a lot of kids in that video.
We're talking about
senseless, very senseless.
Police say one of the individuals carries and threatens the man with a sword. This happened around 3:46 a.m. on Liberty Heights. Police haven't said why the man showed up to the store, which was closed at the time. Workers say the store is open from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Detectives have not said who the car parked in front of the store belongs to.
I mean, to me, they some cowards, to be honest with you.
The 6 suspects appear to relentlessly taunt the man. They once again sneak up behind him and knock him to the ground. The victim continues to be punched and kicked while on the pavement.
They need to see what's right, what's from wrong. You get what I'm saying, bro? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Y'all should be in the house getting ready to wake up for the next day. But instead, y'all here terrorizing the old people.
According to police, the 74-year-old man suffered bruises and an injured hand. The police video does not show how the assault ended. The man was treated at a hospital.
It's a tragedy that we don't have something stable for our youth to go.
So, when we started off this week, my question was, what's going on with the black families? I'm not going to say that I was born in 1972. So I'm not going to say that we weren't wilding out, we weren't doing things that were not right. But this seems to be a problem. You know, so I'm really concerned about it. I think that, you know, we have to do a better job. So if anybody's on this, if this is alarming, please put it in the chat. If this is alarming, please put it in the chat. I mean, this is why I say I'm so blessed that we're having convention in Baltimore. This is in Baltimore, my hometown. And, you know, I know this brother. I found out that I know him. And it hurts, you know, because at one point you want to get out there and you want to go to war. And another point, you know, we're sitting back and we're blaming the parents and we're blaming the mayor and we're blaming the system. You know, but is there something that's going on with our families now that we've lost? And if you want to join in the conversation, please do so. I'm putting the link in the chat. Feel free to join the conversation. This is just sad. What has happened to our Black families? What has happened to our communities? And I got a serious question. While we're saying, are the families soft now? Is the parenting soft now? As opposed to when we were growing up. Another question is, are we soft? Are we soft because this has happened? What are the repercussions? Do we go out and protest and say this not right? Or eventually do we go down there and take the spot over and bust heads? What point are we at where we're depending on other people to deal with this? Go over some chats real quick. And again, the link is in the discussion. I mean, the link is in there if you want to join the discussion. What do you think is happening to our Black families? And what do you think about the elder fighting back? Third Assistant President General of the UNIA. Race first, Brother Asa. Race first. My good brother Torre. Seems surreal. Yes. Come on, join if you want. I put the link in the chat, good brother, if you're free. Yeah, this is terrible, man. And we have to, we got to stop saying it's the parenting. We got to figure out what we need to do as a community to deal with this. You know, that is the main thing. Brother Frank Malik, 2010. This is crazy. Yes, it is, good brother. If you want to come on, feel free. I put the link in the chat. I put the link in the chat one more time. But this is sad. This is an elder that's going to the store. This is an elder that's going to the store. Mark Thompson. 1, fatherless homes. Yes, good brother. Yes, fatherless homes. Feel free to join the conversation. Brother Malik, I see you right here. I'm going to put that link in again for you guys. And I'm going to bring you in, Brother Malik. Hold tight. This is crazy. And before I bring Brother Malik in, I want to say this because this is really the sad part that I feel just knowing the brother. I'm telling you that I was with this brother at a Garvey parade. It was only a few of us marching, and this brother's a soldier. To see him fighting these young guys is remarkable, and I commend him for defending himself. But it's still not right. Do y'all remember, I don't know if this was in other cities. In Baltimore, I know for sure. And I think I saw one in maybe New York before. When around 10 o'clock, the news would come on, and it would be, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are at? Put it in the chat if y'all remember that. Put it in the chat if y'all remember that. It would be like, it's 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are at? This was like a 70s thing. So I want to know right now who these parents were and things of that nature. But I'm going to bring in my first guest, Brother Malik. Let me bring you in. Peace and blessings, good brother. Peace and blessings. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I got you clear. Yeah, man, this is alarming. This is really alarming.
It's.
Go ahead.
It's sad, honestly, because it used to be, it was like the 80s, early 80s. It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. I was born in 73, the same day you was. So I think we
Yes,
talked
right.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. Them guys is punks and cowards, man. First of all, I mean, that old man straight up, one-on-one, he put a hurting. And I'm not trying to cuss. But he would have put a hurting on them guys. Because if you look at his stance, he was fighting, you could tell the old man knew how to fight based on his stance. Right? Them guys, if you really know how somebody know how to fight, you look at their feet, you look at their torso. He literally was in the stance that had he hit him, he would have took them boys down. Them boys, their footwork is garbage. You can tell they coming behind. You see how they swinging. They throwing like haymakers from behind. Like, that, I mean, and it took all of them, and he was still holding his own. And it's the result, like I said, it's the crack epidemic. They're probably the great grandkids of the crack epidemic. Like I said on social media, the issue, and we grew up, whatever you say, you better back up.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it, no matter what. So, see, this is the underlying issue. A lot of black men don't want to get help to deal with their issues. Like, literally, I'm divorced. It's a challenge. But I don't talk nothing. If I can't back it up, I don't say it. I believe in mental health. I think that's the issue. The man is not in the house. If I caught my son doing that, I'm going to black out. Like, literally, I'm going to hurt him. Like, I might go to jail whooping his ass, like, straight up. I mean, I don't play around with him. Like, my son got issues. I'm not here to talk about my son, but, like, I don't play around. Like, I don't play any games. And I know a lot of times with them kids, it's always your posture. Like, I'm not going to be out that late anyway, because once the lights come on, I'm in the house. Occasionally I've done door dashing, but I just been blessed. But a lot of times I'm definitely not going to be out at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Like,
yeah. Let me ask you this, Brother Malik. Pan African First from YouTube says we have to patrol our own neighborhoods. That means many of us have to put our own safety on the line to protect our communities. What do you think about that? Have we come to that point where we're asking the mayor and we're asking these parents, do we need to get out on the front lines? What do you think of that?
I naturally do that anyway. When I'm walking my dog, when I see kids, and I tell the kids, do not pet my dog without asking your parents. That's my natural instinct. When I'm walking outside, I'm watching everything. All the cars coming through. I mean, when I was married, my neighbor's girl, as a man, it's your responsibility to protect. That's natural. Like, literally, my kids, they went to Medfield, and they were renovating the school. And I saw this guy about 100 yards away with a hula hoop. He was casing the school. So, when you walk outside and you see kids, you automatically got to be watching what's going on. I had people, I don't care what color the kids are, white, black, it don't matter. And they come, that was real nice of you. I'm telling kids, like, don't talk to strangers. You don't know me, don't talk to strangers. Like, literally, that just should be a normal part of your routine. Like, you always stay on guard. Even when you laughing, you always watching everything, because most time, people, they're going to pick on someone. They thought that old man was vulnerable. When they realized they couldn't beat him, they jumped him. That's why the guy came from behind. It was cowards. He had a gun. First of all, our generation, you pull it out, you better use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm that's why I don't run the streets. That's why I don't, because I got a temper and I'm not scared of nobody. So,
what's crazy? And Mark Thompson 9056 says something. You said fatherless homes. But what's crazy? I'm blessed. That could have been me. And I would have shot him. You running at me with a gun, I would have shot him. I would have had to shoot a young brother that's coming at me with a gun. And I would have, I'm trying to go home. I always have this saying, I'd rather put my life in the hands of 12 than have my body carried by 6.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm so blessed that I wasn't in there, because as soon as I saw him coming, I'm going to the left side. I'm lighting him up. And we don't want to do that, but that is one of the reasons why we have to protect ourselves in the community.
I mean,
it's the same.
I'm a little off.
If
I don't have no gun on, if I see him even looking, I'm gonna arrest him and like hit him in it, like hand to hand. I'm gonna hit him with kill shots, like straight. Like it's a cowardly move. A lot of black men don't want to get help. A lot of black men have been irresponsible, right? We can't blame the white man. We can't blame the mayor. It's those young men made a choice. There are opportunities here for you to get help. There's therapy. I know I take advantage of them. We're dealing with the crack epidemic. A lot of them could have been strung out. A lot of them could be in jail because of crack epidemic. Like the guy said a couple weeks ago, to put the drugs in the community, we don't have to use them. But I think I'm just not about blaming people. I'm just about personal responsibility. You can't, like I said before, and on social media, a lion does not complain about the jungle. A lion is a lion. They make shit happen. Excuse my life. They make it happen. You cannot complain about how hard it is. It's opportunities. We got opportunities that our ancestors never had. And, you know, I mean, that's how I look at it. Like, I got opportunities. It's no excuse. I know me. I probably would have damn near probably would have came to his defense. Or I probably would have came up behind one of them kids and just picked him up and slammed him. Like, cause you ain't gonna hit no old man. I'm naturally protected anyway. So your responsibility is to patrol the area whenever you go outside. You always putting your life on the line, because if it's your day to go, it's your day to go. So now I think what the brother man was saying, you might want to get more organized in patrolling the area. But if you got kids out here, you're gonna watch them, make sure them kids are safe, no matter what race they are. They could be Asian, Latino, black, I don't care. I make sure the kids are safe. I tell them, do not pet the dog without asking your parents. Where are your parents? Well, so-and-so, don't pet the dog, because that's how kids get snatched.
This is something you said that, and I want to go into this. I think that Brother Oscar Bryan says, and you mentioned education at Medfield. Miseducation and diseducation is number one. Two, my grandfather walked 20 miles to work. My father walked 10 miles to work. I drive a Cadillac. My son drives a Benz. My grandson walks 20 miles to work. You know, so he's breaking that down a little bit. And number three, it's a drug area. Yes, I think that's something that is really alarming. And I really have to say that, you know, we have to. Again, I do know the elder. I haven't spoken to him. I've spoken to a couple of people that might have reached out and spoken to him. You have to be alert when you walk into Baltimore City.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
You know, I hate to say this in that way, but I would never go there at night. I don't even feel comfortable going there during the day. I go there and grab a couple of protein shakes, because it's action there. Even if the police are there, you know it's action there, and that's 7-Eleven. But you have to walk with your head on a swivel. This is Baltimore. So to be out and about, maybe he wanted to get something to drink or some munchies. Nah, you see it, you know, I don't want to say the N-word, but you know they call them the young ends. We're gonna say the young brothers. You see young brothers out there, and
they knuckleheads.
You got to think. You got to think. You got to really think of how this is playing out. You know, you have to really know your situation, and I'm not blaming him, because we should be able to walk in any situation, get something to drink in our community. As an elder, feel safe. He's 70 years old. They should be looking out for him. Hey, OG, the spot's closed. This or that. You know, and making sure he's good. And
yeah, they don't have
for that to be a drug spot, they making the spot hot, but that's just scary.
I mean, first of all, it's stupid because it's a camera, and if it's a drug spot, what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna have more cops patrolling. So then, when you out here dealing your drugs, you're gonna have to move to another location. They dumb. They don't have no code. Even they knuckleheads, like they straight knuckleheads. Their parents are probably strung out. Father probably in jail. Probably don't even know what their father is. And I mean, when are we gonna stop blaming? Whatever. When are we going to stop blaming the mayor? When are we going to start to take control of our own?
I agree.
I mean, like Marcus Garvey said, when he says, because I'm not going to agree with everything. I'm not always going to voice my opinion, because there's no point. But when he says we got to break the mental shackles, he wasn't saying black people. He said we. He did not frame that just for black people. When he said it, he was speaking to humanity. And our struggle and triumph is the triumph of humanity, right? And I'm just not, I mean, as far as politics go, I'm kind of in the middle, right? I'm just not about blaming nobody. Like, I'm responsible for where I am at in my life, me. And I'm responsible for
sorry
changing
to cut you off, Brother Malik. It's funny you said politics. My good brother Keith Scott just commented, doesn't that feeling of hopelessness is very disturbing. He's talking about that.
That's mindset.
Yeah, he's talking about that. And he also says a people with no power blames each other. That's
but see, it's all in the mindset. It's the culture and the mindset. It's how they program and wired. Because I see it as opportunity because that's my mindset. I'm something I work on. That's about mental health is working on your mindset every single day. Right? And I think that, I was fortunate. I have a father. My father's still alive. I had strong men in my family. My stepfather had men. We didn't always see eye to eye, but he was a positive impact. He had issues, so I was fortunate. I grew up around strong men and strong women. Not everyone has that luxury.
Right.
Even to this day, I'm blessed because my family's still helping me because I have a good relationship. Not everyone has that. So, I'm aware of that and I'm not desensitized to it. But honestly, I'm saying what needs to be said, it's all in the mindset. It's like, I like to say, like, you ain't want to use the N-word. Well, that person that, the N-word, and I like that about you. That's a mindset. That's a slave mindset. But it's how we are programmed. We got to think about it as there's opportunities for you. If you keep saying there's no opportunity, it's not, then yeah, that's going to be your reality. But when you keep saying there's opportunities and then every day you got to work for it. So that situation is sad. It's sad. And is it partially, you can blame the mayor, you can, but it comes a point in time that, people have overcome some tough situations, and, those guys are responsible for their actions. They're going to be held accountable. And again, you don't know. They may not have parents. Their parents could have died. They could be living with their grandmother who's too old to take care of them. Like, you just don't know. And, that's just, it's sad in a way. And I feel like what hurt the black family is the crap. We grew up in the 80s where I remember before the crap, before the crack epidemic, where it was, you would get into a fight, you didn't have to worry about getting shot. Then around 85, 86, that's when it went crazy.
Yeah.
Like around, once 86 hit, that's when it just started. People started dropping like flies. And it was like, and so that's what I think it is. And
I remember when in the 80s first hit, I remember when the 80s first hit, it was still kind of cool, but you have things like people getting the NBA shot for the NBA jackets. That's it might be a Baltimore thing. I don't know. Peace, Dr. Dog, peace and power. Race first, Dr. Dog. And then it was like, you would start the shootings and the drug things, but you knew if you weren't involved in that, you might get into something where you stepped on somebody's shoes or something, you'll hear something like that. But you just had to know how to move. But I couldn't imagine. You know how back in the day when somebody say you want to fight, they want to fight you, and you'll be looking at the clock like, this day is going so long. Like, you worried about the fight? I couldn't imagine now because there is no fighting. You'll be looking at the clock like, should I tell?
The boys don't know how to fight. You can tell by their footwork.
That was funny you said that. Yeah, he had that fight in him.
Yeah, because he stood a certain way. He stood like one leg behind another. He was kind of moved around trying to size them all up, right? And you can tell like he was looking like he's gonna cock back and hit him. Them boys was one hit, they'd have been knocked out. And then the guy had a gun. I'm like, I'm glad he didn't shoot him. But I'm just like,
that's alarming. Got one guy with a gun, one guy with a sword. And I wonder if his mindset was like, I'm an elder, I'm not looking for any trouble. Maybe they tried.
Yeah, but he wasn't scared. He was ready to die. He was like, look, all right, I'm old. What I got to lose? The older you get, the less you care.
That is true. That is true. But I always say that that's the alarming part is we should be protecting our elders. You
Right,
know,
exactly.
and I feel like we're waiting for we're waiting for a system to protect us, and I think I'm running out of.
It's not designed to do that. So if it's
Exactly.
not
I'm running out of patience with that. You don't blame your
It's not.
politicians because you don't have the power to discipline them. That was Keith Scott. Come on in, brother Keith, because we saying it's past the politicians. That's what we saying. So if you want to join us, feel free. Go ahead, brother Malik.
Yeah, it's not set to do that. The system is, if it's not set, then you have to, as far as patrolling the neighborhood, you should be walking outside watching everything anyway. That's standard operating procedures, right? You know, once you understand it, you have to figure out how to get it to work to your advantage. Like, you know, when my kids don't well in Baltimore, I understand the system. You work it to your advantage, but you know its limitations, right? And you know, I try to set realistic expectations for everything. I mean, I'm you know, I'm not blaming nobody. I like they say a lion mentality. You don't blame nobody. A lion is not gonna complain and say it's hard to go hunting. Well, hell, if I'm gonna go hunt, I'd rather die trying to hunt than die of starvation. Like, you know, it's you. What are you gonna do to punish the politicians? You just, you know, it's enough people don't vote. First of all, so if enough people are not voting, what can you do? The system is not designed, right? So people don't vote. Why don't they vote? It's their personal choice. I vote, and I'm not going to get too deep into it. I'm not going to debate it because what's the point of debating? It's a bunch of hot air. You know, like I said, and I'm going to say it again, it's all about mental health. People don't want to get help. It's real simple.
Pan African First says, I see you in the green room, brother Kev. I get you in a minute. I agree that mindset plays a role. She's coming from YouTube. But simply talking to all these young kids in the community isn't enough. We've been trying that approach for decades, and the problem still persists. Pan-African First, what do you think we need to do? What's the first step to dealing with this? I'd love to see your comment on that. What do you think about that, Brother Malik, with that person saying?
Oh, well, I think that Medfield, perfect example. In my time living there, the recreation center has been improved. A lot of the recreation centers, they're bringing them back. This is a result of 20, 30 years when they took the recreation centers out. Now, my daughter was a part of the STEM program in Tawan, like in Park. She wasn't really comfortable, but I was there. I was on guard. Like my kids, I'm on guard. Like I don't play around. Like, and everybody know I figure out who's in charge, and I let that person know I'm watching these kids. So they told me that Rollins Blake, not to get too deep in politics, after the Freddie Gray, started bringing the Rex back, right? That's what's going on. I live in the county, by the way, but that's what's going on in Baltimore. So they are, if you go to Medfield, it has been renovated. I don't live in that area anymore. But this didn't happen overnight. So we can't expect it to be fixed overnight. Right. I think that what the system is doing is that they are rebuilding a lot of the schools. Like Douglas is being rebuilt as we speak. A lot of that's important. That was the issue where the kids didn't have, proper, and that wasn't because of politicians. That was the parents and the ACLU putting pressure on them. So right. I think that the solution is keep building recreation centers, keep with these STEM programs. That's what the politicians are doing, right? My son's school, Patterson, they had a gang situation. They do not play around when they come to conflict with them kids. They don't play. I know my son, because they know I went down there one time. Security guard was like, you're a black father, your kid, you got street cred. They're like, yo, it's like Moses. Oh yeah, no doubt. Okay, all right. Like, they like, okay, yeah. Because I'm like, my son, no, I'm a little off. I go down there and I do a goofy dance in the hallway and won't care. And so if you look at the bad, you got to look at the good. They got to keep doing what they're doing, keep upgrading the recreation centers. That's the result of 20, 30 years, 3 generations since the 80s. Because when we was growing up, guess what? They had recreation centers. They did. BNB, all that, they did.
Let me ask you this before I let you go, Brother Malik. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And the question is: the black family stronger, weaker, or simply different than 50 years ago? Stronger,
weaker and different.
Weaker and different. You say
weaker and different.
Why do you say that?
Mental health issues, drug epidemic. I can tell you, I ain't know you long, but I probably trust you more than I trust some of my own relatives. Like, I don't play around. If I think they're not healthy for my kids, I don't want my kids around them. Why? Because of drugs. What happens when you go to jail? Doesn't happen to everybody. Sometimes it does. Right? Let's keep it a buck. It's weaker. You know, and you know what? As black people, we suffer trauma from the slave ships. Right? And that's not something, the stigma. Okay? 20 years ago, I mean, there was times I remember in the 70s and 80s that we would go to my grandmother's house on Cliffmont. But then once the drugs started getting in, some of my relatives got involved in that. Some of them went to jail. They got in that lifestyle. Some of them made it out, you know. And, you know, like when my mother died, they brought everybody together. Brought me and my siblings together. So my sisters, they have a strong family. My brother-in-law have a strong family. I'm okay with my kids being around them. But some of my relatives, I don't want my kids around. Like, I don't, you know. And the first sign that I sense somebody spiriting around, I don't care if they're my family or not. Like, when it comes to my kids, I would, they know. My cousin knows. He offered my son something to drink. I ain't never seen him look scared. When I looked at him, he had to look at fear. I looked at him like, I'm gonna knock you out. And then, you know, and so I think it's weaker. I think that, you know, it's not. I mean, it is what it is. It's a symptom of. We know the drugs are in our community. We know by design. We know the 13th Amendment. We know the obstacles we got to overcome. I feel like the man is not in the home, even though I'm in transition with my business and my financial life is on the uptick. I'm still present in my kid's life. Right.
That's important.
It doesn't matter what you got in your bank. As a father, you have to be present. You have to be disciplined. You cannot go out here and make a bunch of kids and not take care of them. Right. That's what men do. I'm not judging nobody, you know, because that's a lot to deal with because you won't be able to concentrate. I came from a big family. We were bunched together. You know, we was like 6 years between the oldest and the youngest. So, and I was smack dab in the middle of them. And then I had stepbrothers and stepsisters, but we always had adults around. Now, some of them adults, they had issues, you know, so it's a matter of, in order to fix the black family, like I said, we got to work on our mindset, and we have to work on our mental, financial, spiritual wealth from the inside out. And again, you can't rely on the church. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you got pedophiles in church. You got. I see some of these.
Watch out, brother.
I don't care. I'm a father. I don't care. Okay. In every denomination, in every religion. I had a client of mine that was an Israelite. Come to find out he was grooming girls. I do not care. I don't care. If someone's offended, they need to toughen up. Just like my mentor says, take your feelings and put it in the damn closet. All right? I caught a deacon looking at this little girl out of high school inappropriately. I called him out. Oh, he's married. His wife is in the church.
That's crazy.
No, I mean, look, I'm a father. I don't care. People be bringing their demons in church. Some of them come in there struggling. You think I'm going to trust? Heck no. I said, no, if he talk to my daughter, I'm going to have a talk with him. Like, I'm not playing. I will go right beside the pulpit. Be like, let me tell you something. Nah. I said, I don't want my kids to go there. You know, and that's, you know, if people get offended by it, why would you be offended?
Right.
If you get offended by that, I'm questioning you. I'm not singling no race. I'm not singling no religion. I'm saying across the board. Right? And I could go on, but I'm going to stop there, man. But I mean, honestly, you know, you always have to be aware. Even in church, you got to be aware of people's energy. You don't put your trust in people.
That's
you
right.
don't. I mean, you can't. Like, you gotta be aware, because a lot of times, if they see, okay, that girl got a father, I ain't gonna mess with her. They always looking to prey on someone. But if it's like, I'm gonna use a lion metaphor. If the hyena sees a male, 1 or 2 male lions, they're gonna think twice. Like and when you watching kids, if they know that it's males around protecting them, they gonna think twice about it. Like,
that's right.
Believe me, my daughter run track. I'm friends with. I got fathers looking out. We have an understanding. Anything goes down, somebody looks suspicious. I'm watching them real close. But it's the truth. I'm not bashing the church. I'm not singling out any religion. But the fact is, you cannot put your trust. We know what happened to the Catholic Church. It doesn't just happen to the Catholic Church, right? It happens in all religions. That the church, churches, whatever religion, all of them, it happens. And that's not something, like I said, I knew a guy that is a client of mine. He ended up taking his own life. You know why he took his life? Because that girl's family was coming after him.
That's crazy.
He's an Israelite, so he was grooming these girls. And I knew something was dark about him. Something was real dark. That's what it was. I was like, oh, okay. My instincts. But
I'm gonna let you go, brother. But at least somebody's asking me to play that video again. I'm gonna think about it.
All right, no problem, man.
Yeah, but I appreciate you. Stay in the chat. I'm gonna have to bring you back on.
All right, no problem.
All right, peace and blessings. All right. That was my good brother Malik. I really don't want to do this, but somebody texted me, could I play the video? They didn't play the video, so I'm gonna run through it. I'm not even gonna comment. I'm gonna play the video real quick. Once again, I do know this brother. I found out I know the elder, and I'm really upset. I'm not going to say his name. And tonight's topic is what's going on with the black families. Are we stronger than we were 50 years ago, softer, what have you? But this came up, and we talked about young guys at a drug spot, etc. So I'm going to play this one more time. This is going to be the last time, though, because I don't want to continue to play it.
Automatic rifle and sword was involved, and we have a warning. Some may find the video in our story to be very disturbing.
Police department need your help identifying these 6 individuals.
The video provided by police shows an armed robbery and assault in progress. It starts with someone sprinting toward a man police say is 74 years old. The person can be seen pointing a semi-automatic rifle at him. The victim is soon surrounded by 5 others. The victim uses a crate to try and fend them off. When someone sneaks up behind him, knocking him to the ground, they all then start pounding and kicking him while he's on the pavement. We showed the video to convenience store customers.
I see a lot of kids in that video. Senseless, very senseless.
Police say one of the individuals carries and threatens the man with a sword. This happened around 3:46 a.m. on Liberty Heights. Police haven't said why the man showed up to the store, which was closed at the time. Workers say the store is open from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. Detectives have not said who the car parked in front of the store belongs to.
I mean, to me, they some cowards, to be honest with you.
The 6 suspects appear to relentlessly taunt the man. They once again sneak up behind him and knock him to the ground. The victim continues to be punched and kicked while on the pavement.
They need to see what's right, what's wrong. You get what I'm saying, bro? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Y'all should be in the house getting ready to wake up for the next day. But instead, y'all here terrorizing the old people.
According to police, the 74-year-old man suffered bruises and an injured hand. The police video does not show how the assault ended. The man was treated at a hospital.
It's a tragedy that we don't have something stable for our youth to go.
Was that a Len Bias jersey? I'm going to bring on my next guest. Hold up real quick, Brother Kev. Let me just go.
What's going on with you?
Not much. Let me just get caught up on the chats real quick. And I see you there too, Brother Keith. Hold tight. Got this. Pan-Africans first. I agree with the mindset plays a role, but simply talking to all these young kids in the community isn't enough. We've been trying it for decades. Read that. I think this is you, Brother Kev. Times have totally changed. Keith Scott. So let's change the system. Brother David Murphy. Take any group of people and take away resources and put in certain situations, and you will get into survival mode. There were incidents when a plane crashed on the mountain after a period of time and they started eating each other. And I believe what he's trying to say is you know, we got bad. It's bad up in Baltimore, and that's the cause of a lot of these situations. Baba Ori says symptoms larger condition. Awful demonstration at that 7-Eleven. Other guys with ropes hanging our children and women and males. YT at war against us. Things say whites war against us. We don't get it, apparently. I agree with you, Brother Oregon. I believe you know the elder as well, but I'm not going to say his name. Sister Sarkez said, that's right, brother, talking about Brother Malik. And Dr. Dawes commenting on Brother Malik. I agree with him, but he can't avoid the need for a structural change. There's room to identify our own problems and what we need to do. We can also identify how the system creating the environment, how the system is creating the environment. Pan African First, that was from YouTube. Dr. Dog, Pan African First. I gotta let y'all know where y'all comment from too. YouTube, like the brother said, we must stop blaming others and take responsibility for our communities. We need organizations like the Black Panthers Party and NOI to patrol high crime areas while also pushing. And STEM education. So, man, and I know the elder brother Kev. What do you think about that?
Man, it's terrible to see, and it just you it didn't never that didn't happen in my time coming up. You wouldn't think about doing nothing like that. Um, it just goes to show you that these kids don't have core values and respect for themselves, let alone respect for someone else. Um, I feel like times has totally changed in a worse way because there's no more accountability.
Mm.
Um, parents are not being parents, they're being friends. There's no consequences for kids' actions. Uh, there's no um, it's like the kids can just get away with doing anything and everything. And once they allow that to happen, kids just run away with it. I think there has to be certain things in place as far as consequences, so kids can understand that you do wrong, you have to pay the piper. You have to take consequences um, for your actions. Um, growing up, we wouldn't have thought to do nothing like that. We was just too busy having a childhood, you know, want to play outside, want to play all the sports we can play, just being outside.
How old are
We
you,
did a
brother
little,
Kev?
48.
So do you remember that when the news came on, it'd be like it's 10 o'clock, it's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are at? Do you remember saying that? You see,
Yeah,
and this is 4 in the morning. This
4 in
is
the
4 in
morning.
the morning. Even if you're 16 or 17, at some point, and how old are your boys?
24, 23, 17,
24, 17, what is it?
23.
23. And my son is, I guess, 28 now. Sorry, Jawana, I messed your age up a little bit. But I wonder where he's at all times. Even he lives in Florida now. I wonder where he's at all times. Because I'm worried about him.
Right.
If he's in Baltimore, I would really be worried more, and I'll be like, "Yo, where you at?" Or I always want to know where my kids are at. So I can't understand a parent not wanting, not
They don't
wanting.
have they don't have control over their kids. Parents don't have control over themselves, let alone their kids. The kids are telling the parents what they is and ain't going to do. You know what I mean? It started at a very young age when the parent asks the child, "What do you want for dinner?" That never happened in my household. What's for dinner's on that plate. If you gonna sit there and
Yeah.
eat it, you know those type of things, and it grows with that child. And I think um, growing up, growing up as a kid, we had consequences, we had chores, we had obligations, we had to do things. Saturday morning in my mom's and father's household, if chores wasn't done by a certain time and done correctly, you could kiss outside goodbye. You couldn't go outside. If those things wasn't done in a timely fashion and done correctly, and they come and check, oh, you might as well say outside see you next weekend because you wasn't going outside this weekend because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. Those things doesn't happen anymore. You know, I heard the gentleman say about resources. It is resources out here for kids. The rec centers are open. It's just that, they don't want to go to rec centers because they have standards, is what you can and can't do. Someone's telling you, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that. It's rules, regulations, and the kids don't want to listen. I was at the rec center for years. Had a program at the rec center for years. Um, when I was at the rec center, we went from at least about having like 20 kids in there to 100 kids in there a night because I made it very engaging. And parent support was there. And now it's social media, it's the music, it's the environment, it's kids are numb to the trauma that they're suffering from. They're numb to overall society of what's bad, what's good. They're so numb to it that they don't believe in if it's bad or good. They just going with the flow,
Hmm.
and that's why I think that times are totally different. The school system is different. Um, the laws are totally different. Even growing up, if you did something wrong, kids, you can go to Hickey, you go to Boys Village, you go to Waxton, you went to juvenile jail.
Let
And,
me ask you this, Kevin. Shout out to my good brother, brother Jake on Twitter. Hit that retweet for me, good brother. And let me know in the chat, brother Jake, that if you still on, did you see that video? What your thoughts on that? What do you think, Kev, we can do now? Like, do we as are we in our age group? Is it time for us to take it to the next level and say, look, we gotta get out there and hit the streets or something? Or you think I'm being too extreme? What do we need to do? Because I mean, I don't know, man. This is becoming a problem. We talked about it when I first started the podcast about the youth.
right.
I had the president
I
general
think
of the UNIA. It's crazy.
I think they had to incorporate, and this is maybe vulgar to say, but they need to start looking at what they do in them third world countries when kids do wrong, when adults do wrong. You
Ooh.
steal, you do certain things, you start chopping hands off.
Oh shit.
They discipline is totally different. The only way you'll learn not to do something if you have a harsh consequence. It sounds extreme, but that's the only thing they learn. They understand, oh no, I don't want that. You
Question.
have to go to the extreme.
Not to cut you off, but that goes into the question. 50 years ago and on up to now, families, are they softer, stronger, or different?
Hey, way soft.
They way
Because now
soft. You
because
can't
I'm
even
gonna feel
beat
like
your
this.
child.
Oh, I can. Shoot. man, man, nah, Jack,
Yeah, I
nah,
will.
that.
Yeah. You just got to
But this
call
the
the law on
thing.
me.
Yeah, you just going to do it. You just going to do it. And when you call, you better take them with you because you're gonna be coming back.
Yeah.
Now, this the thing. All right, it's always been babies raising babies. The thing that changed is the morals behind it. You always had baby raising babies, baby boomers. You always had that, but you had morals and values. Those parents still had morals and values that they stayed true to. You seen in the 60s, you seen in the 50s, young girls 15, 16 years old having babies. You heard of it, you saw it. It was a part of that that time period. But they still had values. They still have morals. They still have principles. Today's time, you hear parents say, I want to give my child the things I never had. Well, what did you didn't have? You had everything that you needed to grow up to be successful. You don't look at those things and saying these things is important, but you had it. Now is you should be, I want to teach my child the things that I wasn't taught to me, but we still want to be friends with our kids. It's like, at the barbershop. I see these young men, I can tell the young dudes that's raised in a household with a single mom. And I can tell a difference because they so emotional. They can't handle men talking. They can't handle how men talk in a barbershop. We talk aggressively. They can't handle the conversation. They get so emotional and if they evolve off of impulse, they'll do something crazy.
Mm.
The numbers show single women in this days and time raise the worst men. They raise the worst young men. If there's a single mother in a household at this present time, 9 times out of 10, that young man is either involved in gang culture, he's in jail, in and out of jail, or on his way to the grave. The numbers show it. The numbers show it.
Baba Ori,
And then
not to cut you off, Kev. Baba Ori Shabazz says we continue. He's commenting on Facebook. We continue to fail our children, then blame the children. We can't protect our children. Not only biological parents, but all adults in proximity must be held accountable. They lynching our children. July 2026 without consequence. Our children are vulnerable. White hate is real. Expecting youth to be godly in a loose, devil world, it doesn't work like that. I would say this, Papa Orr, and I put that link back in there, and I see you, Chief Scott. I get you in 1 minute. I would say this, to that effect. The village got to do better, too. And like you said, Kev, somewhere down there we
but I don't.
lost the village somewhere.
Yeah, I'm about to say, man, I don't even see a village anymore. I don't see a village anymore. I just see people just being prisoners of their home. They go to work, they come home, they stay in, no involvement. You know what I mean? No involvement. And it's the truth. I just in my community, I'm in within 3 schools within a mile radius, a quarter-mile radius. It's 3 schools. A brother is a coach, president of Maryland Youth Football, went to these schools to, do a program to keep kids engaged. 2 schools went on deaf ears. No replies, no nothing. So now he got the program down at St. Clair Lane Elementary. It's called Empower Us, keeping kids engaged, discipline, structure, and he's grown a program. But why hasn't the other 2 schools took notice and be a part of it? Well, you could have had the 3 programs going on in 3 different schools for the 3 different age groups. But the schools don't respond. Why? Because they're afraid someone's going to show them up.
Right.
Back to school last year. Sent the information to the school. Please send to the parents. Parent came over and said, well, what's going on over here today? Literally came across the street and asked what's going on. All you know is back to school festival for the kids, free resource vendors, got the health department, we got arts and craft, we got food, we got giveaways. He said, the school know about it? I said, yes. He said, the school ain't say nothing to us about anything. Well, I'm gonna send my son over here anyway, and I'm gonna make a phone call some parents. So the school's not giving the information out. They're not giving the information out. They're ashamed of of being called out. And I feel like the school they don't like me because I be on them. Like I just did the announcement of I need 18 individuals to do the donation for the kids to receive free haircuts. 9 kids was for elementary school at Brems Lane, or BE school. 9 kids was for St. Clair Lane Elementary. I got a donation for 9 kids today. But within that donation, those 9 kids or all 18 kids will receive school 5 uniform shirts, school supplies, a book bag, and also a free haircut. But when you go to these schools and you say, well, make it be known to the parents that all summer long, this the second month, I did free haircuts every Sunday for kids. Not one child from that school down the street has attended. Why? This is 50 years ago, you'd have had a whole line of kids outside waiting to get a haircut for free.
No doubt. Shoot. You think they'd be lined up now because haircuts way more expensive. I cut my own hair.
Wednesdays are $9 haircuts for kids. $9 all day long. Parents walk right past and pay it no mind. And I say, well, you rather pay $25 than $9? So it goes to tell me the parents don't even care.
Mm.
You don't care for your son. Agreement is a part of confidence. You have the confidence you can establish and you can do a lot more stuff when you have confidence in you. Someone telling you look nice, you look good, you're presentable, it builds confidence. But the parents walk right past, don't even acknowledge it. You talk about sign your kid up for a haircut for Sunday for free, and you don't take advantage of it. But then you're asking what's wrong with the kids. No, what's wrong with the parents? Why? Because the parent has to be able to come and sit with that child to receive the haircut. They have to meet the qualifications of washing your kid's hair, showing up on time, and be here to be present for your kid to have a haircut. They just want to send a kid and just be okay. I send the kid back home and tell him go get his mother. The parent doesn't even come back. It's not the kids, it's the parents. There's a lot of kids out here who want discipline, who want structure, who want the love. They want to be talked to with kindness. They want to be shown something different. But if the parent in a household is not showing them anything, then what they going to do? They're going to go outside and connect with any and everybody who say they love them to show them some stupid stuff. That because they feel accepted, they're going to do it.
You
And that's
said
what they out here
something there,
doing.
Brother Kev, not to cut you off, but I see this by coaching football and basketball. Um, Before you would see a lot of the parents as out there, supporting that child. You want to watch your child in practice and see them. Now you don't see a lot of parents, and as they get older,
Right.
no parents. I think one of the things is that you find out with coaching is that a lot of times we're picking up a whole bunch of kids. Like
It
you're
becomes a
asking.
daycare.
Yeah, it's a daycare. It's a daycare. It's not. It's people aren't invested in in their child like they should be, and and it's okay. I think that's why coaches are very important because coaches become these kids' parents and their male
Right.
figures and things of that nature. But we don't go home with them. You
Right.
understand? We don't
Right.
go home with them. But let me close out on this, Brother Kev, because you were saying some things there. I know you're doing that program you were talking about, and Brother Frank Malik, I think that's Brother Malik that just got off, said this is true. Some of the leadership in the school is horrible. I want you to speak on how people can donate to your program?
Uh,
And what your program is, real quick.
just donate some time. On Sundays, it's called Blessed Sundays Fun Days. We just brought it to an end, but I'll start it back up as the school year come along. Just spread the message of kids can register. It's a link on my Facebook page, the Top Shooting Sex. Um, on Facebook and Instagram, the Top Shooting Sex. It's an online registry, so kids can receive free haircuts on Sundays. Spread the word for $9 Wednesdays, so kids can receive a decent haircut, so they can have the confidence to go to school and not be bullied, so they can be properly groomed, at least look decent enough, so they can have the confidence to want to go to school and learn. Um, Stop passing to ask what's going on. A lot of stuff I don't post. Some stuff I do post. A lot of stuff, man, just about coming in and see what you can do. It's a conversation that need to be had. Don't just stop past. I'm my business hours are Wednesday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. My location is 3522 Cliffmont Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland 21213. Um, Stop past and see what I got going on. I'm doing back to school. Um, Back to school August 8th down at the Calvin Scruggs Community Park. I'm also no, that's the 16th. August 8th, I'm a part of the Roca Family Fun Day, where as though they having proper resources out there for families, for kids
Mm.
to get tutoring, learning learn learning job readiness skills. I'm down there to offer the free haircuts, the $9 haircut program, and I also be representing Logo Baltimore to let to tell people about Logo Baltimore, how we reshape, we connect with the community. So that's what I'm doing. Um, I'm uniforming the schools right now. The kids with parents and helping parents get their school uniforms done. I'm doing uniform logos for $4. So the parents have to purchase the shirts. Parents can go to Former Mills, Shoppers World. They can get Former Mill, they can get the t-shirts or polo shirt t-shirts right now. You can get 6 t-shirts for $10 and get a logo put on your shirt for $4. You can get 12 shirts that last you 2 weeks and 2 wash days for
Mm.
uniforms. Polo shirts are three for 12 or 3 for 10. I put the logos on the shirts for $4. That way I show parents exactly how much they're saving by
Right.
doing it this way. Last year, parents were saving $85 and above on uniform shirts alone. So they taking that $85 and doing else things with buying the school supplies their kids need. So that's what I'm doing. Just helping parents as much as I can, helping the kids progress, be heard, let them they have a voice, let them know that I care. I was a kid once. I didn't know I was poor until I came an adult.
No doubt.
I did not know I was poor until I became an adult because I was a kid. I had fun. I did not know I was poor until I turned like 21, 22, and I said, "Oh, I'm poor." I didn't know. I didn't know. I was at the rec center every day. I didn't know. I went home and I had play clothes, so I didn't know nothing about I was poor. Everybody looked the same.
I'll switch that note. I didn't know how bad I had it until I had to live with my father. That was a whole different experience. But
Right, 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 right.
I appreciate you, brother Kev. Drop your number real quick before you roll out, just in case somebody want to contact you. Because I'm gonna clip this up.
443-512-7815.
My man, I appreciate you, Kev.
No problem.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
That was my good brother Kev. Brother Keith. Oh Lord. Don't come in here tripping, brother. I'm about to bring you in. Let me get caught up in the chat, brother Keith. Sister Tanya, Sister Saket says, I also put into teach meditation in a few schools with a formal proposal, no responses. That's crazy because meditation is a key. And you do y'all. For those that don't know, we have a youth program. Sister Sarkat is one of our Black Cross Nurses, they did a phenomenal program when they had the sound bowls with meditation. And she did a great presentation to the young kids about Ma'at. And so this is why we have to do our own schools and get our own stuff in there that cater to our kids, and meditation and those type of things are good. We need those kind of programs. Marcella Beretta commenting on YouTube. Good evening. Good evening. She says, Black primary care physician only. No Eurasian doctors. Switch grandparents and grandchildren. I'm not sure where you mean with that. Black excellence is Black primary care. Good night. I think she's talking about making sure we get our house in order. Brother Ori, oh goodness. Hold up, let me make this small. He says, I'm not disagreeing with our guests, but they enumerating symptoms of a much larger disease, the disease of imperialism, bigotry, racism, white hate. Nolan X. Wells had a younger brother and parents that loved him. By all reported accounts, a good young man. Imagine the destruction this family has to experience. Remember Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland. Neanderthals ain't playing in 2026. Yes, this is true. I agree with you there, Baba Ori. We have to understand that the system and everything like that is creating these conditions. I agree with you there. We can't let white supremacy off the hook, but we got to do something to fix our community now. You know, at the same time, we got to do something to fix our community to now. For those that's just tuning in, we're talking about an elder that I know in Baltimore City. Went to a 7-Eleven about 3-4 in the morning. Got jumped by 6 individuals. One had a gun, pulled a gun out on him. Another one pulled out a sword. This is a known drug spot as well. The 7-Eleven closed. And again, I just found out I know the brother. And so it's definitely alarming. And we're also talking about Black families, which is very important. You know, what happened from 50 years ago to now? You know, are the families stronger? Are they weaker? Are they different? You know, so I'm going to bring in my next guest in 1 minute, but I got to pay the bills. So let's hit this quick commercial, and Keith Scott, get ready. Quick commercial, Keith Scott, get ready.
History doesn't remember those who stood on the sidelines. History remembers those who organized. More than 100 years ago, Marcus Garvey inspired millions to believe that a people could rise through unity, organization, and self-determination. Today, that legacy returns to Baltimore, now for 6 unforgettable days. History, culture, education, and purpose come together. This is more than a convention. It is the continuation of a movement. Join President General Michael Duncan and Garveyites from around the world at the 68th UNIAA-CL International Convention, August 18th through August 23rd, Baltimore, Maryland. One God, one aim, one destiny.
All right, family, for those that don't know, the UNIA, Marcus Garvey Organization, I'm president of the Baltimore division. We are blessed to be gifted with the convention this year. You're going to see delegates from all over coming to vote on things and speak on what they're doing all over. And then we're going to be having events at night. Those events are free, so you'll get to meet people from Marcus Garvey's organization, like myself, from all over, from Chicago to New York, Island of Curacao, Detroit will be in the house, LA will be in the house. So this is going to be phenomenal. You'll see us do the flag ritual as we do a flag ceremony at all of our events. So we have a meet and greet at Terra Cafe, owned by good brother Terrence. I'm gonna try to bring him on, and all of the people that are on that are hosting. We'll try to bring them on maybe next Friday, but we'll be at Terra Cafe that Tuesday. That Wednesday, we'll be showing 2 documentaries. The first documentary is some of the work that we've been doing in Baltimore. So you'll hopefully see our food giveaway. You'll see our agriculture coordinator's garden, which she has the chickens and the 2 beehives and a little pond and at our place. You'll see, the work that we're doing in the community and people. You'll see us going hiking. We do our hiking. You'll get to see video of that. We go hiking every Sunday or every other Sunday. And so you'll get to feel the power of what we're doing in Baltimore. And if you're at some of these events, you probably will be in the documentary. So we're still filming that. We're about to be wrapping up soon. That Thursday, we'll be at Next Phase Cafe. We'll be having our good brother that's now in Vegas, but represents Chicago, the conscious rapper, Brother Abdullah. We'll have a good brother from our social club, Brother Nate, performing. I got to reach out to K Love, sister in Baltimore from Chicago. She'll be doing some poetry. We have a couple of poets there, and you're going to hear some powerful UNIA members speak. The President General, the 10th successor to Marcus Garvey, 11th President General will be in Baltimore speaking. And going back to Wednesday, we'll be showing our Faka Rock. For those that didn't miss it, the Black-owned grocery store that the UNIA has, we're trying to bring it to Baltimore. So you know how we feel about the food deserts and everything, and having a Black grocery store. We need to get y'all in and here, and so you can talk to the person that started it, the President General Michael Duncan. And that Friday is on and popping. If you have seen or been to TNAT for Dr. Dawes panel discussions, they are off the chain. They're powerful. We'll be at TNAT on Friday. We're going to have some powerful people from the UNIA and others speaking, hosted by Dr. Daw. And that's going to be really powerful. And Saturday, we're going to be doing a tour of Baltimore. And Saturday night, the gala. So you really want to be there. We get providing some organizations, our social club, Black Men Unifying Black Men, with some awards. We're giving a powerful Sister Eartha an award, Brother Bill Gooden and Brother Mike Johnson awards, and some surprises as well. And you'll see some people in the UNIA get awards. This is just going to be powerful. You'll get to meet people. And if you know how we do in the UNIA galas that we're doing convention, we're going to get the groove on. I'll be hitting my 2-step. I'll be getting it in. So I'm going to bring on our next guest, Brother Keith.
How you doing today?
Brother? You ain't been sipping, have you, brother?
Oh, no, I'm just sitting here. Listen, I was just listening.
So, So before, hold up real quick. Let me get caught up on the chat. I'm doing good. Hold up, Brother Keith. I'm doing good. Brother Ori says, Black family status, the same as it was 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 150 years ago, right outside chattel slavery. Okay? Do they have kids as young as 7 on the attack? I don't know what you mean by that. Explain that in the chat, Sister Saketa. Jump on if you want to jump on. Did they have kids as young as 7 on the attack? Oh, you may be talking about the kids that jumped the guy. I think they were like teenagers. The good brother. What were their ages? They didn't make any arrests yet, but they look like teenagers. But it could have been a couple of young ones as well. And again, that is a drug spot. That is a drug spot. And for all the females that are on, Brother Ken made some good statements about single moms, struggling to raise these young men. I like your comments on that. He feels, and he's not the only one, that that's a major issue. Single moms, and do they need more support? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But back on to you, Brother Keith. And I don't want to say the brother's name, but I think you may know him as well. He's been around. Yeah,
I know. I looked. He looked familiar to me too.
Yeah, I definitely know him. But I wanted to ask you about that. What did you, when you saw that? How did you feel about the young? And for those that are just joining in, there's a brother I know that I just found out that I knew was in this video. He's over 70, a good soldier, and he got jumped at a 7-Eleven about 3:34 in the morning. Got a gun pulled out on him, got a sword pulled out on him, got jumped, but he fought. He defended himself and was able to live to see another day. But it was just scary and just upset and frustrating. But what did you think about that video, Brother Keith? And
Helpless.
Helpless?
I felt helpless. It's nothing that I can do. It's nothing anybody can do. Okay, it's not like, okay, we here sitting, and the fact that if your child lived to be past 15, that's a win in Baltimore City. If your child, don't go to jail, that's a win in Baltimore City. We expect to raise angels when we was put in hell. We think we think that we could produce angels in hell. Conditions that we have no control of has been thrust upon us for the last 50 years. But we look at that hopelessness every year, but we don't have the power to blame who's responsible for we turn on ourselves. We say, oh, we got this bad parent. No, I would say, I want to see a bad parent. Will Smith. He got all the money on the world, and his kids is crap. Now that's a bad parent.
Why are you going to Will Smith?
Okay, look at his children.
His children hold up though. His children aren't committing any crimes. They might just be weird.
That's bad parenting. That is totally bad parenting. Okay, look at your kids.
So let me hold on, brother. I gotta slow you down, brother.
Mm-hmm.
So for a kid that's weird or eccentric that lives a different life, you think that's bad parenting over a kid that's out at 3 in the morning beating up a 70-year-old? That's totally two different things.
I'm saying you living in the conditions that most black people are forced to live in. Okay, this is nothing new. This is kind of pretty much the norm in Baltimore City.
Now, was it the norm? Was it the norm in the 70s?
No, it wasn't.
Well, what happened?
Okay, back in the 70s, we fought. It was not the thing off my shoulder, and we start fighting. Cross that line, and we can start fighting. Okay, that's what it was when I was young. The last 50 years, I was there the last 50 years. Okay, things is getting worse. I could break down to you how did the black family was destroyed. I could break down you year by year how this happened.
You break it down,
okay?
Brother.
Now we got to understand that the person that's intact by the system is black men, because we know If there's a black man in the house, he's going to raise his men, raise his boys to be men. So the system decided to remove the black man from the family function by simple fact, destroying unions. My father was a union man, but when they broke the unions and started bringing these other people in that work for less money, it destroyed that union. Then, since the man can't get a job, they put the sisters on welfare under the stipulation that the man got to be out of the household. That's the start of destruction of the black family. But we are okay. Now you got a generation after generation of the same thing. Okay, drugs coming into the neighborhood. I wouldn't say bring into our community because we don't own any communities. We don't own no mules to bring drugs in. The government, the system, brought this stuff in here to destroy black people. But this is the conditions that we forced to live in. Then the other brothers. Oh, you can't blame the white man because the black man got to pull us up by the bootstrap, but he don't got no boots. Come on, everybody knows the system has to be changed. The systematic living we have to live in was not our construction. But like I said, people with no power blames each other.
Hold up, brother Keith. Sister Tanya said, "What about the metaphysical pendulum?" The argument is they were as cruel as can be to our people. They used to eat our babies, and people still coming up hung. Is this a pendulum swing? And then she said, "Be specific." A 70-year-old white man. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I know the brother. It's a brother. I know who he is. He's a black man. He's a 7-year-old black man. A lot of people were thinking that he was white. He's fair skinned, but he's a brother. He's a soldier. I've walked with him in the Marcus Garvey parades for him and Baba Duggar holding us banners. I was just with him at an event. I think it was one of the events I spoke at, I believe. We were all outside having a community. There was a couple of UNI brothers, Dr. Dog. I know the brother. A good, strong soldier. So he's definitely a brother, if that's what you mean. He's a 70-year-old brother. Yeah, you're flowing, brother Keith. You lost me on the Will Smith, but we'll move on that one, brother.
Well, we talking about bad parenting. Okay, the family. Okay, I'm like, okay, people who have children that graduated from college and living that good life, you are very lucky. That's the luck. Okay, to achieve in spite of the system, that's very rare. Okay, so pat yourself on the back because you lucked out. But it's a whole lot of these brothers and sisters that's not lucky. It's not lucky. It's caught in the system, and the fact that if you have the capability of taking your child and moving out, most black people are doing that. This is why the black population is going down in Baltimore City because of you have the three options. You can leave, you can stay and die, and go to jail. So we people with no power, we attack each other. That's the first. We turn on each other. We say, oh, if that person would have been a good parent, that kid wouldn't be out there. Okay, it's like this. You could teach your kid the best manners, but they can't use those best manners in these streets. The streets, the environment that these kids now have to live in is terrible. It's terrible.
Hold your thought real quick. Sister Sarkis says they still don't think that we should get reparations. That's a metaphysical pardon or a step towards redemption. They don't want to work with us. We at war. They're suffering right now along with us. I suffering. And she says, in other words, we got a problem. Oh, okay. And she said, oh, my bad. She was misinformed. Yes, that was a brother. They beat up a brother. You said something, brother Keith, that's really important. You said something that's really important. Baba Ori is listening, and he's been saying it. The systems that we're in. You know, the systems that we're in. I couldn't imagine growing up now. And we made it through the 80s and the crack era, but right now it's like crazy because the violence is like I couldn't understand. And I used to have a couple of homeboys that would carry guns, and that wasn't my thing. But I would see how they move, but they move like you don't mess with me, I don't mess with you, and I'm about my business and protecting whatever they was doing out there. Not just shooting people and killing people. And I don't know how a young person could survive right now with this violence out here. It's crazy. But my question is, what do we do if the parents can't control what's going on in the home? If the young kids are not getting disciplined by the law, what do we do?
Well, see, these kids is not being held accountable because the system don't want them to be held accountable because they want them to do what they're doing. They want them to realize that they don't have a future. So a person that has no sense of tomorrow, they only gonna live for the day. And that's what these young people are doing. They say they don't tomorrow is not in their scenario. So they're gonna have fun today, do what they gotta do today. And that's our fault. Because some of that couple of generations back, we know that the system is destroying our young people, but we do nothing for it. We go to the polls, we vote these same people in office, knowing that the schools they don't have heat, the schools they don't have air conditioning, but we do the same thing. We do that same thing and expect that person gonna do something different.
Dr. Shams, I don't even know if you wrote a paragraph here. I'll try to get it in. I don't even know if I could do it. Hold up. Sorry about that, brother Keith.
That's all right.
I'm gonna read it. He says he wrote a lot. Black people, state of emergency. Afro descendants, the plaintiffs, and he shared a link. Being that our rights are being violated worldwide, the Afro descendant is proposed to stop taxation of our Afro descendant people and oppress others if possible. We are being denied human rights, reparations, and the only U.S. representation is violating us, misleading us as a people to continue oppressing us. Being that we are a people facing worldwide genocide here in North Central America by neighboring United States, we feel that we must not be taxed for these reasons. Oh, so he's saying because we've been treated unfairly, he feels we shouldn't be taxed for certain reasons. If we can, for any reason, get benefits from the United States, we deem it as due us. I think he's saying we deem it as we should be due for us. For us, history is of slavery, murder, abuse, denial of rights, and other atrocities. And then it looks like he's writing in maybe Spanish. So yeah, brother Malik came in and says, I can make this smaller now. There we go. He says, I would not say it's luck, it's hard work. We are blessed. And Sister Sarkette is saying, okay, cool, I get it. I was on another page, but a portion of our kids rebelling is a pendulum swing. It was inevitable. Yes, we just got to stop rebelling against our elders, And Brother Malik said we have to change the mindset of the culture. You are incorrect. many schools are being rebuilt, such as Patterson High School, Western Medfield City. I'm not sure what the dough is. The dough is. So what you got to say about that? He's saying that, I do agree we have to change the culture, but he's saying that you're incorrect about the schools. Many of the schools are being rebuilt.
Okay, you know what's a strange thing?
Yeah, what?
Most areas where the schools is rebuilt, that's the first sign of gentrification.
Douglas. He's saying Douglas. Well,
Okay, the schools. First they developed the school. They changed the school. They're fixing the schools in any area that.
Douglas still in the black community, brother. But I didn't know it was rebuilding.
Now. It's still now. They can say the white people, they playing the long game. They're not playing tomorrow. They're playing the long game. Okay? The average black people. Okay, Baltimore lost over 40,000 black people to the counties. Because Baltimore City is, I mean, most of the people who left is pretty much, like I said, people with good jobs and good careers. They broke out. Now you got these schools is being repaired and made available for the white people moving in. Not for the black kids. It's for the white people moving in. Believe it or not, like I said, I saw my neighborhood gone. And they first started with the development of the schools. The schools first. The elementary schools and the high schools got fixed up. Because
I got a question. And I see you in the building, Sister Saket. I'm gonna get you in 1 second. You said something that was interesting about a lot of people moving to the county. Is that by choice or by design? Because the county started, for people that are out of Maryland that don't know, there's Baltimore City and then there's Baltimore County, which is more suburban. It's kind of a little. The closer you are to the city, it's more city, but then it gets more suburban. But the county's starting to get off the hook.
Well, yeah, but they're moving to the Anne Arundel County, PG counties and stuff like that.
That's what I want to ask you. So you're saying the people that are moving out are moving and getting away from the drama, but
yes.
But I got a question: are they placing a lot of people that are low incomes in the county?
Yes.
A lot of this. So it's a dual fact. I'm asking. I'm not saying this is happening or not. I'm asking.
You can see it. I mean, you got. I mean, I lived in the county. I can see how the county is changing to pretty much Baltimore City. I mean, parts of the county now. You got the kids hanging out in gas stations, on the corners and stuff like that. You didn't see that 20 years in the county.
Right.
Okay, 20 years ago, you could walk, you could drive. You don't see nobody hanging out in the parking lots, or the gas stations, or the 7-Elevens. You didn't see that 20 years ago. You see it now.
And in White Lock, you see, which was a tough area, you see white people walking their dogs. Gentrification is in the house.
It's happening, but it's totally happening. But and it starts off with the development of the schools, because they're making room for the white kids to come in. I mean, like I said, they playing the long game. We playing that short thing.
And I see Sister Saket. She says, "Okay, I get it." I read that. Brother Malik, I got him. He's also saying that redoing and fixing up Pimlico. That is true too. But I will say, you might be on point there though. Pimlico, Park Heights they're fixing up Park Heights for white people. But
okay, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna make a prediction.
Oh Lord.
Okay, I told you that. I told you that before.
But Brother Malik he is correct. He's saying black kids are benefiting from the improvements. This is true. If they improve them and we're in those spots, this is true.
Yeah. All right, so I mean, Baltimore City feel that they don't need a black mayor anymore. Okay, because to them, the white and Hispanic vote, they know it's going to vote for them. So they don't need a black mayor anymore. They're going to try.
Hold on. You gotta you speaking broad, brother.
All right.
Who's Baltimore City? What part of Baltimore City? Black people?
The Democratic Party feel that they don't need a black mayor to represent them anymore. Zeke Cohen is going to be their man. What's his name? Yeah, Zeke Cohen is going to be their man for the next election. Mark my words. Okay, Brandon, all this here investigating he's going through and stuff like that. Come on, they trying to get him out. They're trying to mess his name up right now. He going through this investigation for this, investigation for that. They trying to mess his name up now, because they want that white man to be mayor now. And like I said, if I don't do it, you're gonna have a white mayor.
You're crazy, brother. But listen, I'm gonna let you close out. But two things real quick. Is there a solution to this youth problem in Baltimore City? What do you recommend? Let's say you're the mayor. You won mayor. What would you do?
I would definitely create brand new neighborhood associations and turn them to businesses LLC, so the people that live in these communities can be self-sufficient financially and politically. Okay, we got to get the people involved in the development of their own future.
And the last thing I want you to add is the question for tonight. The question for tonight is: the black family stronger, weaker, or simply different than it was 50 years ago?
I would say different.
Different?
Because the conditions has gotten worse. I won't say the family is weaker. It's the fact that conditions has gotten worse. Resources is not as plentiful as it was 50 years ago. Okay, it's like I said, man. People expect to raise angels while they're living in hell. It's impossible. Okay? It's nothing we can do because the children today feel that they don't have a future. So what you gonna say? You're gonna say, young man, don't do that no more? What? You're gonna tell them what? Go get a job? He can't get no job because he don't have the education to get a job. So what you gonna do? Just turn your stuff and go to jail? What? Or what? The guy said, chop their hands off? Come on. Ridiculous. If you can't fix your community, I mean, leave it there for somebody else to do it. Like a brother like me.
Brother. I'm gonna let you out. Your camera acting crazy. Ever since you said something about Will Smith, brother, the Illuminati might be on you, brother. Your camera been moving.
I'm telling you something. There's no such thing as an Illuminati. That's just a myth, bro. That's a myth.
All right, brother Keith. I appreciate you as always, man.
That's something that the rap people got you here listening to and stuff. Ain't no such thing as Illuminati. All right. Peace.
Peace, good brother. That was former mayor candidate of Baltimore City, brother Keith Scott. Sister Saket, yeah, up next. I'm going to play this quick video, but please, family, we got a powerful show tonight. Do me this favor. It's always free. I ask you one thing. Hook a brother up. Hit the like button. Bang that thing.
Smash it now!
If you're on YouTube, We're on YouTube, Real Truth and Power, and also UNIA Rock Media. Hit that like button. Facebook, X, Twitter, hit that like button. I think we're still on Instagram as well. Somebody said Instagram is looking crazy on there. But if you're on YouTube, do me this thing real quick and hit that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, and as you can see, there's a bell, and you'll get alerted every time we go live. Very important. So please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit the share. Let's get this algorithm going. Hit that share button all over Twitter. Retweet. Sister Saket, you're next. I'm going to play this quick commercial, and we're going to go and bring in our strong, powerful Sister Saket. Remember what we're talking about when we talk about the Black community and unity. We have all of these different things, but we saying to UNIA, it's unity or death. So you better be aware that we're not playing. We got to come together.
Global unity or death. They told us we would never stand together. They divided us by politics, by labels, by fear. But every generation must make a choice. Remain divided or become one people. I don't seek violence, but I refuse to surrender. If they bring fear, I'll bring courage. One people, one purpose, one destiny. They can fight a man, but they cannot stop an idea whose time has come.
Global unity. We need to unify here in the United States. We need to unify in our cities. We need to unify in our states. We need to unify in our countries, but we also need to unify globally. We're all one. We don't need to be separated any longer. And Baba Ori, before I bring you in, Sister Saket, Baba Ori saying the mayor's participating in the solution phase for the Black community in Baltimore. Number one, we got to stop killing each other. Number two, stop fighting and hating on each other. I agree. I'm bringing in our queen, Sister Saket. What's up with you?
Peace. Can you hear me?
Yes, I got you loud and clear. Yes. I
Yes,
saw
peace,
the
peace.
video because I saw you commenting on the video. I saw the video. And then at our officers meeting, Brother Frank had mentioned his name. And I was like, let me go look at this video again. I'm like, yo, I know the brother. We was just hanging out with him at a spot. And then I hit one of our elders to check up on him. They talked to him, and they said that they might have some broken ribs and stuff. So it's really, really sad. And which goes into what I wanted to talk about tonight anyway, was the Black family and things of that nature. But it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of hurtful. You know what I mean? I was hurt by it because it was an elder in our community, but then to know him, you feel kind of like, I know him, he fought strong, but it's just like Brother Keith Scott said, he felt hopeless. But go ahead, what was your thoughts on that?
Yes, well, now that I've got the logistics, it's really sad just to see children engaging in these types of activities. Anyway, it was said that they were in a high crime area and whatnot. And we have free will. We should be able to travel to the store, 7-Eleven, whenever we want, no matter what our age, age appropriate. But my thing is, as far as the parents, everything starts in the home. And so part of this solution would have to involve the parents and a life change. And when we talk to, let's say, young parents in their mid 30s and up, um, they are working extra long schedules, um, holding one or more jobs. Um, they are decent parents, but the children are rebellious. They don't listen. They put the parents' word to the test. They sneak out and all these different kinds of things. Granted, there's nothing new under the sun. Some of the kids back when I was a child probably did the same thing, but they had different consequences. Number one, the neighbors would tell on you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they were be like either come in my house or go back in your house, and they make sure that nobody comes back out, or they will call your parents, let them know, because they usually exchange, numbers. But nowadays, the younger sisters, we really have to go out of our way to embrace each other and just to even be on that level. And a lot of times, as neighbors, no one wants to engage with one another because everyone just feels like if they stay to their self, then there'd be peace. There's
Right.
just like a lot of unnecessary chaos and the basic respect for one another. Like, I have a young lady that doesn't live next to me, but on the other side. But in my area, I live in Dundalk, there's maybe less than a handful of black residents on my block. So, of course, I try to speak to them and, be cordial along with everybody else, but go out of my way to be like, peace, if you ever need anything for the kids or whatever, come and, check me or whatever like that. But to this day, this young lady, she'll still walk right past and won't say nothing. And I'll have to engage the hello part all the time. How y'all doing? This and that. Once I speak, then she'll speak or whatever. And like a lot of times, she'll look me right in my face and I'll have to say, hey, sis, how you doing? This and that or whatever. Try to figure that out, but it's not that easy to work with one another. We talk about unity, but you also have to have engagement, and yeah, it's a lot going on in that area of trying to connect with one another. I find it's easier the older you get, like in the 40s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
By then, you kind of realize what life is a portion about, and you begin to be a little bit lighter in your spirit. But the younger people, they have they're dealing with trauma. They're dealing with so many things. They don't have time to think about what anybody is saying hi or whatever. To them that's like, something small. But yeah, so we're still trying to manipulate ways to even get into those conversations with young parents. They get a lot of criticism, and so it's not that easy to talk to them on a whole. But yeah,
Hold
it
on
it
real
can
quick, sister.
happen.
Hold on real quick,
Hmm.
sister Cat, because someone
Sure.
just hit me, brother Cliff, and let me
Hmm.
see if I can show this while we're talking. Um, Hold on real quick. This looks like it's an event tomorrow. Trying to make it smaller. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. See if I can make it a little smaller. There we go. So there's a community response rally. And thank you, Brother Cliff. If you want to come on, Brother Cliff, to talk about this, I think Brother Emiltep had hit me today. I missed his call, and then I had to come on the show. But it looks like it's a community response rally, prevent attacks on elders, July 18th at 2 p.m. July 18th at 2 p.m. And does it have 2500 Liberty Heights? I believe that is where that 7-Eleven is at. So our community, our voices. And Brother Cliff, I'm looking, he just texted that to me and I just threw it up. And he's saying I'm not going to speak to the who the person is. He says still hasn't spoken to him, but he's spoken to a couple of elders in the community. Um, and this is a PLM will be part of the mobilization tomorrow at 2 at the 7-Eleven. And it's the same time as Brother David's event. Okay. Yes, and he mentioned the elder has been mentioned on Facebook, but I'm not going to mention him because I haven't spoken to him, so I'm not going to say his name. And he said he'll tune in. Sorry about that, Sister Sarkat. So if somebody can give me more information, and Brother Cliff, I know you're tuning in. But there's a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. I know Brother David Murphy's having an event, but they're trying to do something there. So I text Brother Emotep. I'm not sure if he's listening or not. He had called me today. I missed his call. I was in the gym, I think, or cutting the grass, one of the two. And see what's going on with this event. Maybe he can jump on as well. But when you see those kids out there, Sister Sarkat, what it kind of hurt me. I put myself in the elder's position, and Brother Cliff is joining us now. I'm gonna bring him in with us, Sister Sarkat.
Yes, I have an elderly parent in New York City, so I get it. I
You know
constantly
what?
worry
I never
about
asked you
his
that.
safety.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I never asked you that, but you have a New York accent. It was always something when you were speaking, and I never caught on it. You're from New York. I never caught on it.
Yes.
But yeah.
So I know
It could have been me. And if that young brother had came on to me, he had two hot ones in the chest. I'm pulling out the 9. And so I'm so blessed that wasn't me. I mean, I go to that 7-Eleven during the day, but I never at night, and it's a little off the hook there. But what do you?
Ever since I, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, what do you think about that? 3:34 in the morning, those kids out there. I do know it's a drug spot, so that you have to keep in mind.
I thought Baltimore had a curfew, number one. And
I don't know what's going on with that curfew thing. I don't think
it never was enforced. It was just said that they're going to put it in place, but I don't think they ever enforced it because they have this problem down at Fells Point also.
I tried to show a video of this. I may still try to pull it up, but it didn't come out right. But question, do you remember, and I know they did this in New York because I found the video. Do you remember when we were younger and they would say on the news when the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock news would come on, it's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are at?
Yes.
Like that's the type of mentality we had.
I remembered hearing that since I moved here. Like I remember hearing that. I'm not sure what channel, but they still run it at times.
They
do? It's not like what it used to be, but yeah, it's a certain channel, and I think it is local. I think it's a local channel, but it's not consistent. But I have heard it on there.
Hold on real quick, Sister Sarkat. I'm gonna bring Brother Cliff in because he has some information about that event. What's up, Brother Cliff?
Okay.
Greetings, Mama Sarkat. Greetings, Brother Everett. Just got in from doing some dirty chores outside, so I had to clean myself off and make myself halfway presentable. No prettier, but at least halfway presentable before I came on.
No, you good. I just came from the gym and I was like, man, the show's about to start, but I gotta keep being consistent.
Right.
But you sent me that.
I had to get yard and grease off of myself. So.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
But so what's going on with the event? Because Brother Emotep did call me earlier. I think I was cutting the grass, so I was in the gym or something. I didn't get a chance to call him back. But Frank had mentioned something at a meeting or something. So what's the event about?
Well, first of all, I think there are going to be two things going on at the same time, and both of them are going to at least address this issue in some way or another. Baba David Murphy, of course, he's having an event out of Powerhouse World Ministries at North and Bel Air Road, and it's also at 2 o'clock. And he's already asked me to come. He'd already asked me to come to that before I even heard about this. But I know that assault is going to be mentioned. We're also, I think, going to talk at least a little bit about somehow or another rebuilding the Council of Elders and a few other things. But I know that assault is going to be discussed at least to some degree at that event, and then at the same time, the mobilization that Baba Imhotep is at least connected to. I don't know whether PLM is doing it or whether Baba Imhotep was simply announcing it and letting everybody know what was going on. I know that there were a few people that I talked to yesterday who were saying that they thought there needed to be some kind of a community response at that particular 7-Eleven, and that is the 7-Eleven where the assault took place, 2500 Liberty Heights Avenue. It has also been the scene of a number of, frankly, acts of mayhem that have happened, including the murder of a local young activist several years ago. So that area right across from Andamán Mall has somehow or another gotten a reputation for being a place where if you want to find some trouble, then that's where you go. So they're gonna, I guess, have some kind of a mass mobilization to, I assume, simply send a message to the community that there are people in the activist sphere that know what happened. They're upset about what happened to one of their own elders, but they're also upset about what is happening in that particular part of the city. Because if it happens to him, it's got to happen to other residents who are in that area as well. So that's going to happen on tomorrow. Both those events tomorrow at 2 p.m. And there may even be some discussion of it at next Thursday's Unity discussion that happens that Bill Gooden is doing, because this has kind of become a bit of a hot topic. There has been a number of comments on Facebook about it, and I've made a few comments. Well, I made one comment on Facebook about it as well. So this is something that's going to be talked about, even though it is something that happened, 9 days ago, 9 days ago. So, and the crazy thing about it is apparently it just showed up on the news in the last day or two. So that's kind of interesting.
But hold up, brother Cliff. Sister Sirkat, so you didn't hear about this till tonight?
Just yesterday I heard about it, last night.
I found out about it maybe like 2 days ago. You saying this happened like
But there
7,
was a
8 days?
video. There was
July
a video
7th.
that they started showing on TV yesterday. I have yet to view it, but yeah, it's in my email or something. Somebody emailed it to me. I gotta view it. I forgot I had it, but yeah, they released the video.
I'm gonna ask both of y'all this, but I'm gonna start with you, Sister Sirkat, because we was about to go in. What are some solutions to this? Because we gotta do something with the youth. We gotta get this situation figured out, because these are young kids, and I think we're about to go in, Brother Cliff. And I said, when if the young kid had came at me, I would have shot him. And thank God I would have had to shoot a young brother, But what do you think of some solutions, Sister Sirkat?
I think that we need, because the children have to learn consequences, and we're trying to keep them out of the standard jails. But we do need some sort of rehabilitation type facilities where when they do those crimes, they can go in, but we really work with them on a different level, not just your basic jail situation, because they're cutting the ankle bracelets off now, so that's not the solution. Regular jail, putting a youth that they try as an adult in there with the killers is in prison, that's not the answer. I think that more like, say, when a person has an addiction and they go through a rehabilitation center, we need a rehabilitation type thing for children from whatever age up to, what is it, 18, or you could do 16, or whatever the actual age is. I don't know what the percentage is of crime of that age, 17 to 18, but right, that is the crucial time. This didn't happen in Baltimore, but it happened in America just last week or whatever. The young lady was 15, and her 16-year-old boyfriend, she wanted him this was Louisiana. She wanted him to she asked the family, could he stay with them? Now, I don't know if it was temporary or just for that night, but they said no. The whole family ends up getting killed by the boyfriend. Both of them, actually. They shot grandma, they shot the brothers, they shot auntie, and this is puppy love. But a whole family got shot. Most of them killed. Two of them survived. That's a whole nother level of violence, but it's still dealing with the youth. So we have a range of what they're capable of. And it goes all the way into murder. So we got to treat this seriously, or there's a whole generation that's going to be incarcerated, because once the regular judicial system gets them, it's over. But it seems that in Baltimore they let the people walk. There was a shooting, this and that. What happened? He's not even, what is he doing now? He just had a gun charge last year. Oh, he's had 2 or 3 of them. So I keep hearing that repetitive thing here in Baltimore when they having serious gun crimes where people are dying, and you find out that they've done it before and were let out. In New York, the mandatory gun time is 5 years. And they pretty much try to stick to that 5 years, or
Yeah,
you
they don't
paying
play
for the lawyer.
They serious up New
Yeah.
York with that gun stuff. I remember we went to
Yes.
convention and the president general's wife was like, "Ever, you didn't bring your gun, did you?" I'm like, "Oh no, 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 no." Coco Banner from Instagram is saying, "Can I ask a question?" Yes, you can. Put your name in the
Sure.
chat, Coco Banner. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Hold on real quick, Brother Clip, before you answer this. I'm going to try something real quick. Hold on real quick. Let me try something real quick. Hold on.
You know where you're... It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Y'all remember
the very first 10 o'clock newscast aired on WNYW TV in the late 1960s. It's always been immediately preceded.
I guess I got rid of that. I thought I had another one. Let me try to find that real quick. But yeah, that was crazy because, that was crazy because that was... That was crazy because that was... I think, let me try this one. I think I had Jerry Turn on here, Brother Cliff.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Since the very first 10 o'clock newscast aired on WNYW TV in the late 1960s, it's always been immediately preceded by an unmistakable public service message asking, well,
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
It's 10 p.m.
Jerry Turn to
Do you know
Baltimore.
where your children are?
And believe it or not, we're able to track down the promo writer responsible for this piece of...
For those that don't know, I was 70s baby. That's what they was playing when we were younger. So
yeah, me too.
And I would never... It always locked in because when it got late and I was hanging out late, I'd be thinking, damn, I gotta get in the house because when my mother sees this, she's gonna start questioning where I'm at, and then it's gonna be on and popping by the time I get in. She's kicking my butt.
Yeah.
Oh, and
That
Yeah.
was a nice
But
bridge.
see, we
That was a
did,
nice bridge too,
we
because
did.
you had Walt Frazier,
Mhm.
who won a world championship with the Knicks then, and of course now you got Jalen Brunson, who's won a
Wow.
world championship with the
That
Knicks
was
now.
53 years ago.
Oh, I don't even
Yeah.
acknowledge the Knicks. I'm a Lakers fan. Oh, Sister Chanel, Coco Banner, I hear you. Yes. Ask a question, whatever you want. Put it in the chat, Sister Chanel, or you can jump on as well. Just let me know, and I'll put the link in the chat. And Sister Basima, race first. She'll be here, Brother Cliff, for the
Oh, shit.
convention, so you get the link up with her. And
Wow.
for those that don't know, we're giving
Wow.
Brother Cliff an award, but he's going away. He won't be at the gala. So if you can make it to the movie night, we're going to give it to you then. I'm still pushing you, Brother Cliff. It'll be that Wednesday, so try to get this so we can present you with an award.
Wednesday.
James, I'm going to need them
Okay.
awards.
All right.
Mhm.
I think I can do Wednesday.
But go ahead, Brother Cliff. What did you think of that? Do you remember the question I asked Sister Chanel?
Well, I think we were mainly
I
talking
said
about
more
solutions
rehabilitation
and
centers.
yeah, and I think there has to be some kind of an
Mhm.
alternative to throwing these young people in the joint with hardened criminals, because you throw a young person in an adult prison like that, he comes out worse than he went in. So I would hope that they have some kind of an alternative to that. Now, I don't know how effective the juvenile justice centers are nowadays. I remember they used to have them all over the place back when I was a state employee. But the other thing is taking a look at, of course, the what the situations are in the schools. One of the things that was suggested to me, interestingly enough, by the missus, was that we need to get some of those elders, if we can strengthen the council of elders here and get some of those elders mobilized to go into the schools, and not to go into the schools to preach to the students, but to just introduce certain Pan-African concepts to them. That's assuming the school system's administration and hierarchy will allow such a program to take place. One of the things that I was also thinking about in reflecting on this whole incident is just taking a look at what the overall culture is in the United States right now. What are the United States political leaders telling us? What are the messages that they are giving us? The messages that they are giving us are basically, if you don't like what someone did, pound on the desk, yell and scream, make accusations, point the finger. You don't have to have evidence. You don't have to have rational thought. You can just go out there and just make a scene. That's what the president's people are doing right now. And then when they're put on the stand, basically lie and evade and try to throw accusations around. The second one is that when people don't behave the way you want them to, violence is a good tool to use. Now, the the instruments of the state are using it. When ICE pulls someone over, they pulled the gentleman over in Houston, and it was the wrong guy, but he was in the car, and they just didn't like the look of him. So what did they do? The first thing they did is resort to force. The gentleman in Maine, with his daughter and his wife in the car, he again is not. They think he shouldn't be there. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. What's their first resort? Their first resort is force. I think we are being taught, not only through that, but also through the addiction that is foisted upon our young people to items such as Grand Theft Auto. How many versions of Grand Theft Auto have come out over the last several years? I've never played Grand Theft Auto,
I get
but I
motion
know,
sickness. I
yeah,
can't do it. I got motion
yeah,
sickness.
I know, I know a
You said
number of
5, Sister
people.
Circuit?
5?
You muted. You muted yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, GT5 just came out.
Wow.
What
So
you
you
know
got
about
five.
that? How you
Well,
so
I have
5
paranoid?
generations of Grand
my
Theft Auto.
older kids. My kids are my oldest son is 35, so they've been gaming since 89, 90. Plus, I had one of the first video games that came out when I was a little girl from Sears and Roebuck. and it had the one dot. It went boop, 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 and you
Oh,
had
is
to
that like
like
the tennis
block.
game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but
You had the
yeah, they're
tennis
on
game, and then you had Space
YouTube.
Invaders, and then you had Pac-Man. And but
My
see, the
have
thing is,
things have changed.
yeah, while those games were also addictive, and they had us, because I remember when the first nightclub I ever DJ'd in was down in Washington D.C. And when I wasn't in the booth, which was most of the time because I wasn't the number one jock in there, when I wasn't in the booth, I was getting quarters so I could put them in the Pac-Man game. And
Mm.
we would be sitting on that Pac-Man game all night long playing. So
Yep,
those games also were
I
addictive,
have it
but
now.
yeah, but the difference is that the Pac-Man games, they were clearly fantasy. They were, little guy gobbling up fruit or
Yeah,
points
with
or
fruit
whatever before
and
the Bulls
stuff.
caught him.
Yeah, yeah,
Now the
yep.
video games are actually centered on interpersonal violence. Grand Theft
GTA
Auto,
is
you're
robbing
you're
people. Yeah.
yeah, you're hitting people with cars. You're pulling out your nine, and you're lighting
You're
people up.
jacking people. You're literally carjacking.
Yeah,
It's
and so
very
that's
violent.
what those games are now. I had a great nephew, a nephew's son, and every time I would go over to their house for a while, he would be sitting up there in front of the TV and he'd be playing some version of Grand Theft Auto. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure how healthy this is, but to his credit, he is turns out to be one of the brighter young people that I've ever
I was
met.
gonna say, yeah,
And
son can handle it.
not too long ago, he left a message on my phone asking me to show him how to play chess. So it sounds as though he is pulling himself away from those kinds of video games. But again, those
Mhm.
video games are teaching us, along with the behavior of the administration, that if you can't get your way, then violence is the answer.
Then
And
take it.
yeah,
They
so
got
so
the music to back that up too.
I put some of the blame on the record company executives, because when I was DJing is when Gangsta came out. So Gangsta came out, and now you got drill. And and I was watching how that happened. And I also know that a lot of the record companies, while they allowed the artists to take the blame, the record companies, the producers, the managers, the administrators, they were pushing these artists to put out more music like this. There was actually, I think, a video that a couple of former hip hop artists had made, and they basically said that they had eavesdropped in a meeting where record company executives were talking about how they were going to coerce young rappers to make more gangster rap songs, more drill rap songs. And that was a large part of how that music genre was corrupted, not as much by the artists as we like to think, and a lot more by the executives. So these are people in power who are pumping this kind of poison into the minds of our young artists, and then in turn pumping that same poison into the minds of the people who listen to them. And then now they've gone to the video games, they're doing the same thing, and now they're running the country. Now they're running the country. So they've got us and this is a little spokes of the wheels reference. They got us on the culture spoke. They got us on the media spoke with the wire and all this other sort of thing. And they've got us on the governmental spoke with how they act in terms of the administration, resorting to violence at the drop of a hat. So I put a lot of the blame on those people, perhaps a bit more so than on our young people, because those people who are pushing this on them, they're supposed to know better. They're supposed to be the elders of their community, at least. Maybe their community is foul, and so their elders are also foul. I don't know. But that, to me, is being pushed on our young people. And then our young people, they're looking for connection somewhere. Baba David Murphy was talking to me on the phone earlier today, and he said that he went across across the city earlier, and I think he saw very few young people outside, very few of them. Now, depending on where you go, you might see a whole lot of them running around an apartment complex or somewhere. But he's saying he doesn't see children outside playing as much as they used to. When I was young, the most popular thing was, "Ma, can we go out and play?"
Right.
And apparently that's not happening so much anymore. Our young people are being, either their parents are telling them, just go upstairs to your room and turn on your television. So they go upstairs in their room, they turn on their television, and what's there? Grand Theft Auto. And so they play it. And so
I'm not
somehow or
so.
another, some
I'm sorry to cut
remediation
you
has
off,
to
brother
happen at
Cliff.
school level.
I wanted. I'm sorry to cut you off. I wanted to get y'all a point of this because brother Kevin. I don't know if you was watching earlier. Brother Kevin has spoke on that, and he felt that people they're trapped in their houses because of a lot of the violence. You think that's a lot to have to do with it? Why people aren't playing outside anymore? You think of that, Sister Cat?
I
Yes,
think it's a
there's a
vicious cycle at
percentage,
this point.
definitely a percentage because of the stray bullet syndrome. You know, the
Hmm.
children out there playing, people are tired of their children getting hit with the strays.
Yep.
Also, you touched on a good point about uh, the video games and the music. The thing is, it's a particular group that's pushing the music thing, but you can't mention them, their culture. You can't mention none of that. You know, if you say one word against their culture, you know, no go. But then they
Right.
actually want you to degrade your culture more. The more degradation, the better the music for them. You know, so that single-handedly brought our R&B sector down. There's no more love in the music. I mean, it's just there's no unity rap songs pretty much. I mean, you got to like decode this whole message and maybe it's about unity, but most of the wording for the rap music is not about unity. So, you know, the music is a real big part of it, especially with the black children, you know. Um, you know,
We
music is a
had.
big part of us. I was just saying that our lifetime soundtrack is on the commercials now, on all of the medication commercials and you know the laundry detergent, this and that. You could hear Barry White, you could hear Earth, Wind and Fire, Boys to Men. Our positive music is being played as a joke now because they're jingles for somebody's commercial, and it's that particular group that owns all the masters to our music. And it really did fumble like 2 generations, you know, ever since the Little Waynes came and then that exploded, the NWA, this, that, you know, even when we had Public Enemy, now we find out that that same group was the wallet behind Public Enemy, and you know their music was literally almost to start riots. You know, that type of thing was their intention with that music. So
I got a question, Sister Chanel. She didn't want to jump on, but let me know if y'all can hear this.
sure, I'll switch places with her because my battery about to go.
All right, I'll talk to
But
you, Sister Sakat.
I got 10 more. Like my battery's on 10, so
Yeah, let me let you go, and I'll play for Brother Cliff. I appreciate
okay.
you as always.
Peace
Peace and
and
blessings.
blessings. I'll be in the chat.
All right, all right. Hold on, listen to this real quick, Brother Cliff. Let me know if you can hear it.
Okay.
Hold up.
When I feel like it's really not all their fault. It's like they're a product.
Hold on, let me rewind it.
I do know there's a lot of parents that express that, you know, they're single parents, they don't.
All right, hold on.
So I wanted to ask the question, how are we able to help the parents and the kids that are going through, you know, hardships with, you know, street violence and things of that nature, when I feel like it's really not all their fault. It's like they're a product of their environment. I do know there's a lot of parents that express that, they're single parents, they don't have help from the father, they have to work. So 9 times out of 10, they're at work all the time. The child is faced with being with another relative, say if it's a bad cousin or someone in the family that's, is supposed to be watching them, but at the same time not teaching them responsibilities, teaching them how to be respectful, how to behave properly. How do we help those children and those parents? Because I do believe sometimes we get caught up when we find out that a child is doing something wrong. We say, well, where are the parents? Like, where are the parents? And then you have some parents that are saying, hey, I work. Hey, I have taught my child to respect their elders. I have taught them, to go to school, don't skip school, do not steal, things like that. And I can't help that they're around people that is causing them to act this way. So I feel like we should, separate that term where, it's the parent's fault, or, where's the parent when the child is doing this? Because I do believe that there are parents that are trying to help their children succeed in life, but they can't because they have their own struggles that they're trying to overcome. For an example, I know for me with my past, I can be honest and say when, I was a little street running, doing my little street running, there was a lot of things I knew not to do. For an example, like if me and my friends were skipping school and, we're walking past, the elderly, I'm like, hey, don't curse, or, don't litter in front of them. Things like that, like, because it's planted inside of you. And when you see things on the news, like the incident that happened with Bubba, it just goes to show, like, that's the difference of teaching, of parenting. I feel like those kids had no structure at all. I feel like they just have hatred in their heart and they just don't know any better. But I want us as a community to get better with helping those ones that are trying to succeed and trying to be better. It's just the area that they live in. They can't help that they live in the projects. They can't help that 9 times out of 10 their parent is not there to go to, a baseball game or come up to a school event because they work, because they know if they don't, then they won't have. And sometimes that lead the child to running into the arms of someone that is no good. Street people that tell them, like, hey, let's go steal from this store. Or, hey, if we rob this person, we can get a couple quick dollars. So I just want us to see if we can find a better solution with, saving those kids from destruction. That way they won't get to that point where those kids from the 7-Eleven incident affect them.
Oh, that was deep. That was, let me turn my mic down. That was Sister Chanel. She's our outreach coordinator for the UNIA in Baltimore. So for those that are listening, you'll get to meet Sister Chanel. We're working on doing a food giveaway and clothing giveaway. She's in charge of all of that. Does a phenomenal job. We had to cancel the one for tomorrow, which might have been a sign, so we can maybe because Brother David and also this other event. Before you go on, Brother Cliff, I'll say, Sister Chanel, you are correct. We can't just group all of the parenting. There are different variables for different things. I got in a lot of trouble, I think, because my mother worked. And that's, of course, she's not there, and it's hard. If she wasn't working, she was in school or something like that, trying to better herself for us. So, from that standpoint, yes, you have to understand that parents are trying to survive up here. I think that's what Baba Ori was saying. Sister Saket, and even you, Brother Cliff. Some of these are conditions that, because we're struggling people in our current situations of having to work, our parents are working, things of that nature. But we do have parents that could do more, which I think goes back to our community. And Sister Saket just put in the chat, a lot of parents work at night. I think this goes into the fact of our community. Like I said, a lot of parents, a lot of times when I'm coaching, I got to pick up kids. And it's not just because those parents are not being able to be there. Some people just can't sacrifice. I'm gonna go hard. I was going to be there for my son to watch him play or whatever, but some parents got to work. Some parents can't make the game. Some parents can't even afford to have their kids play. You'll be surprised how many times we had to pay for. Shout out to Michael Beasley's uncle, Artie. Rest in peace, Michael Beasley's uncle. My son played for Michael Beasley's uncle, and he used to pay between him and his nephew for kids to catch planes. Parents couldn't afford to play. You're talking about kids that can get full scholarships. It is definitely hard in our community because parents have to work. But I think, and Brother Cliff, help me with this, I think there has to be some type of things that we could do as a community to help out that situation. But I don't know. Of course, if you in sports, picking up the kids, dropping them off, making sure they're active, maybe rec spots, but it's very hard to monitor the kids at night, and it's tough. We're in tough situations where we can't just group them. But go on in and what you thought about what she was saying, Brother Cliff.
Well, we live in a society that is stealing money, resources, all the essentials for life from the people on the ground, so that the people at the top who don't even need it can get richer and richer and richer. They are presiding over an unprecedented transfer of wealth from the working class and the struggling class and the so-called underclass up to the CEOs and the uber wealthy, so that they can make the first trillionaire, and so that the president can make $2+ billion being president. So you have this situation where essentially, I think somebody said that they steal from the people and subject them to the conditions of life where, in order to survive, they can't do anything but steal. And then as a result, the people who stole from them then point the finger at them and call them criminals. So there is that dynamic going on where they seem to be intentionally pushing us toward this. It also seems like it really increasingly is looking to me like a concerted effort to destroy the building blocks of our community, destroy community, the community in large scale, destroy the family unit in the community by making both parents work or breaking the parents up. And so now one parent's got to work 2 and 3 jobs and doesn't have time to supervise the children. And then while the children are not being supervised, let's pump these negative images, these negative ideas into their heads. And then they want to go out and it's entirely possible that the young people in this assault were, one of them, sure, apparently was carrying a semi-automatic rifle. But do we know whether or not that rifle was loaded? Was it loaded? Were they even ready to use that if they needed to? The end of the clip shows one of the young person with the semi-automatic rifle pointing his gun down at the elder as the elder was first laying on the ground and then scrambling to get up. He's pointing the weapon at him, but then he backs off and he runs away. The young man with the sword, the machete, or whatever, the samurai, whatever it was, he waves it one quick time, but he also runs away. Makes me wonder whether they ever intended to use those weapons. The other thing is they jumped on him, they kicked him, they shoved him to the ground, they threw stuff at him while he was on the ground. They said it was an attempted armed robbery. There's 6 of them. It's 6 on 1. You telling me 6 on 1, even without weapons, they engaged in this altercation with him, and the only person who came out with more than what they had going in was the elder, 3 cracked ribs and a concussion, which he didn't have before. But these young people apparently didn't get any money. They didn't jack his car. I don't know that they took a single thing from him. I
That's
don't know
real.
that.
That's interesting. It sounds to me like he stepped into a drug spot at the wrong time, and they
Either
like pretty
that,
much
e-
get out of here.
either that, or those 6 young men were actually playing gangster.
Right?
They
Yeah.
might have been playing gangster. I mean, I'm not saying that that's what it was, but we didn't. It was strange to me that you had that altercation occur, and sure, I mean, they injured him. Fortunately, they did not injure him too badly. Um, and they might not have even intended to injure him as badly as they did. They might have just been out there, oh, let's have some fun with this old man. Let's push him around, let's rough him up a little bit so we can feel, like we're badasses basically. And point your thingy at him, And there might have been, I mean, because you got to get the weapon, but you also got to get the bullets. Maybe that thing wasn't loaded. Or if it was loaded, he was probably holding that thing saying, man, I hope I don't feel like I need to pull this trigger. Because if he's never shot that gun before, then that first time is going to be tough. As one other activist was telling me, she was saying, usually she was of the opinion that at the very least they had not fired that weapon ever, because it looked like they were just pointing it and they were trying not to actually fire, and then they ran away. Now the problem, the danger is they get in a situation where maybe they feel like they are threatened, because the elder wasn't really threatening them. He was protecting himself. He was asserting himself. He wasn't actually threatening them. So the danger now is they try this stunt again, and maybe the weapon is loaded, and then maybe the next person they try it with actually fights back and gets the upper hand. Now, does that push them to actually, okay, now I got to protect myself. I got to swing this sword. They probably don't know how to use the sword. They might not know how to use the gun. They might be a terrible shot. They might spray bullets all over the parking lot and miss everything. But still, because I mean, when you're that young, I doubt seriously that you're a marksman with something like that. And a lot of the times when you have these kinds of shootings, what happens? Somebody catches a stray. And a lot of times they don't even get the intended target. So it's to some degree, if they are playing gangster, then they're either really playing gangster, in which case they don't have any intention of firing that weapon, they just want to look tough, or they're playing gangster and they're armed and it's amateur hour, and that's where it gets really dangerous for bystanders. So maybe one of the things that needs to happen is we need to find some way to, number one, show them an alternative. Maybe they feel there is no alternative other than doing what they're doing. Maybe they've watched too much of The Wire or played too much Grand Theft Auto, and they need somebody around there to show them, like you do when you coach the young men in basketball, football. What you do there is part of that solution. And all the closed rec centers, remember in the 90s, and maybe even before then, but I know in the 90s and the early 2000s, what was happening across every major city in the United States? They were closing rec centers, they were closing libraries, they were closing fire stations, and they were building prisons. They were basically telling the young people where they expected them to go.
Brother Yusuf Bey says the Canadian fires kept a lot of people off the streets today. I also say that heat. Brother Cliff, for those that don't know, I did let everybody know we know the brother. I didn't want to say his name though.
Yeah.
Talk to him. Talk to the people, because he's a soldier. Talk to them about his personality and things of that nature. And break down, what do you think was going on with his movie?
Okay. Well, what was the last word you said?
Just his mentality during the incident.
Oh. Okay. Well, he was this elder he was active in the Black Panther Party back in the day. And I mean, he wasn't Fred Hampton, but he was, I mean, he's closer to Fred Hampton than I'll ever be. And when I met him, it was back in 1994. And that's kind of when I started getting my introduction to, I guess, what one would generally call revolutionary Pan-Africanism. I mean, I had some of the black stuff going on because I was in the Black Student Union when I was in college, and basically I was ready to step some white folks every now and then. But understanding revolutionary Pan-Africanism, understanding the history of the Panthers, learning about COINTELPRO, all of those things sprang from my having met this Baba. I heard him on WEAA and on WPFW, and the way he was explaining everything was really, it really kind of caught my imagination. So I was like, okay, I got to check this out. And so I wound up joining the organization that he was running out of everyone's place at the time. And so that was really my introduction to, I guess you would say, activism. And then from there, that's when I learned about political prisoners. That's when I learned about COINTELPRO. That's when I got the connection to meet members of MOVE. I became pen pals with a couple of political prisoners. Marshall
That's how
Eddie
you probably
Conway.
met Sister Basima.
Yes. And I became a pen pal. I visited Eddie Conway a couple of times when he was in the Cut, House of Correction in Jessup. I was a pen pal for a while for another Panther political prisoner out of Omaha, Nebraska, Mondo Wilanga. Sadly, he died in prison, and so did his partner Ed Poindexter. They were both members of the National Committee to Combat Fascism, and they were a Panther variant, and they both unfortunately died in an Omaha prison after like 30 plus years of imprisonment. But I started learning a ton about all these things about the movement, spelling Africa with a K, all that kind of stuff. I started learning from there. And then everything else that I got into, Sixth Region Diaspora Caucus, Maryland, now the Maryland Pan-African Cooperative Coalition, Pan-African Organizing Committee, Pan-African Diaspora, all those things sprang from my having met this Baba back in 1994. And he has continued to promote this. He is older now. He is, as they said in the news article, he said he's 74 years old. I didn't know exactly how old he was, but I mean, he has gotten older now. And as we get older, we don't have quite the same energy. He still has the same fire, but the energy is not as strong. And really he needs other people to kind of pick up where he's leaving off. And he tells me that I'm doing that, but I'm not so sure that I'm doing it. I'm not doing it the way he would have. Right. But he is, I guess, he has told me he's gratified that there are people that he has affiliated with and that he had brought in, he had mentored, he had taught when he was running that organization back in 1994 and up until the 2000s that are still continuing to fight. Baba Youssef could tell you about that as well. Nana Njinga could tell you about that as well. Mama Victory could tell you about that as well. All these people could tell you about him and about the influence that he has had on really all of us as far as we have come forward. And of course, now he's, as I said, now he's older. He's not as strong as he used to be. So that is part of the issue there. And perhaps when he was
74 though.
Oh yeah. Now perhaps when he was there at that particular 7-Eleven, because the first question that entered my head was, all right, why is he there at 3:46 in the morning alone? I wouldn't be there at 3:46 in the morning alone, and I outweigh him by, I'd say, probably a good at least 50 pounds. I'm about 210.
Does he live in that area?
No, he lives further west.
Out and about and just wanted to get something. Just figured he could stop.
Yeah, and last I saw him, and I'm sure he's still living in that same house. He's living further out. He's living at least a couple of miles, I think, further out west. So I was kind of surprised that he was even there. He just seemed out of place to be at that spot,
right?
And especially at 3:46 in the morning. And as I told you on the phone earlier, I know of one person who could probably have been in that situation and taken those guys down. Only if my man with the rifle didn't suddenly get trigger happy and start spraying. If he doesn't start spraying, this one particular friend of mine, yeah, he might have taken, he would have definitely taken him down hand to hand. He might have taken the guy with the sword down too. But I mean, that's just how rough a customer he is, and he's not. He's also got a lot of sense. He's not going to be in a place like that. So that's a part of it too. Is what in dojo we call zanshin, and that's awareness of your surroundings. To know when someone is coming up on your blind side, like what really started that whole thing was a young man came running up at the elder from his blind side and then cold cocked him, and then that knocks him down.
Brother Malik was on early. He said he could tell the elder could throw down by his stance. I know you have martial arts. Has he taken any martial arts?
I do not know. But I would not ask him to take on. I would not ask him to take on 6 young people. I wouldn't have asked that. I wouldn't ask him to take on 6 young people, even if they were unarmed. Like I said, one friend of mine, 6 young people unarmed. Yeah, I could see him doing that. His father, who this friend of mine is a seventh degree black belt in Shotokan. His father, who passed a little while, about a year ago, he was an 8th degree black belt, and he told me of one incident a long time ago, several years ago. He was walking on the street, and 6 young people look at him and say, "Oh, that's that karate man. That's that karate man. Wonder what would happen if all 6 of them jumped at him at once." And he turned around and said, "I'd probably kill 5 of you, and 1 of you would be left to go warn the others." He said when they heard that, they turned tail and ran. But after they turned tail and ran, he said his knees was knocking. So even he was nervous in that situation. Even he knew, okay, this is not a situation I want to be in. And so I'm sure my friend wouldn't want to be in that situation either.
Brother,
he wouldn't want to be in that situation either. So I am kind of surprised that any elder would go to a 7-Eleven that late at night. But sometimes you just got to have that damn caffeine hit.
Yeah, brother Yusuf said he used to live by Mondawmin for 2 decades.
Yeah. So he might have figured he was familiar with the hood.
Yeah, Sister Saket saying that we need rehabilitation centers for our youth people so they can get counseling, education, and etiquette. Of course, a secure environment, but not jail. They may have to do 15 years there. And
I don't think jail would not help them at all. I don't think.
No, a lot of times it's pure poverty that is the problem. That's a tough area over there, and roaches in the cereal box, no toilet paper, not a good diet, mama. No doubt there. No doubt there.
Wow.
Oh, she's still going in.
Find some way to reach them, and maybe even to reactivate some of the survival programs that the Panthers used to do in those communities, to kind of so that people in those communities won't feel like they're alone. And I think that's a big part of it too. I think a lot of them feel like they're alone. It's the law of the jungle. Okay, I just got to get mine. I just got to get mine any way I can get it, because what is it that a lot of us love to say when we get together as activists? There are 2 things that we say. One is I don't know what to do. A lot of us say that. People have come on your show and they said, I don't know what the answer is. People have been in Zooms and said, I don't know what the answer is. And then the other one is, no one's coming to save us.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to be the ones to come and save us. Maybe that's how we should say it. Not that no one's coming to save us, but that we must be the ones to come and save us.
A first assistant,
and then let that permeate to the community.
Our first assistant PG of the UNIA, he's second in charge, always says, no one's coming to save us but us. We gotta
but us.
Yeah.
She's
saying that Trump and his team have made over $100 billion, JD and Krishna. And I think I got all the chats. Brother Clip, before you close out, I had a
By the
question.
way, Stephen Miller just went on there talking about how they're going to go after the radical left terrorists. So here's someone again speaking on behalf of the administration, talking all that tough talk. We're going to go after the terrorists. We'll go after them with violence if necessary. We will incarcerate. We will throw them in jail. We will destroy them. You know, it's the same kind of talk is permeating down. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you was going in. The question that really it just veggie backed off of this incident about the question though, but I wanted to ask you the question to close out. 50 years ago to now, are families weaker, stronger, or just different? Black families. I know.
I would probably have to say weaker. I think our families are weaker, and but I'm not going to say it's the family's fault entirely because what's been going on for the last, again, here's that political thing again. What have they been doing? They have been presiding over the greatest transfer of wealth from the have-nots to the have-mores that we've probably ever seen on this planet. You've got the wealth gap and the income gaps getting wider and wider and wider. You've got more and more people struggling and suffering, going into debt, more and more people who are finding themselves homeless. And so I would say based on that, yeah, I think the black family is weaker. And part of it is the cultural influences that have been foisted upon us. Back in the day, we had, again, here's that music thing again. We had positive, affirming music. We had some folks talking about getting a little something something, but there was also a lot of music about love. There was a lot of music about protecting the environment, mercy, mercy me. There was a lot of music about looking out for your sister and your brother. You had Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. You had all those things that were going on. A lot of those things have been adulterated now, even culturally. The one thing I can say that may be a potential indicator that the culture piece may be swinging is that you had gangsta, and then you had a period where gangsta pulled back a little bit. And now you got drill, so it goes in these cycles. So you had the native tongues that came out, and you had the political rappers from Public Enemy to Dead Prez to Jasiri X to David Banner to M1. You had those to Nas. You had those people who came out, and
they hip hop. You know your hip hop, brother.
so they had that thing. Well, I got a lot of promo 12 inches in my basement, so they had a lot of that thing going on. Right now, apparently the fastest growing single genre of music in the world right now is house. Which I'm happy about because I love to play. I love to spin house. And one thing you generally won't hear in house, I've never heard a drill house song.
No.
I don't know if I've ever heard a gangsta house song. Most house music is either dealing with more positive. Some of it is We Are the World kind of stuff, but a lot of it is pushing back.
Yeah, and this is like more expression and letting loose, you know.
Yeah, and there's a lot more unity in that is expressed in those pieces of music, and there's African culture coming through because of all the house genres. The space house, the Europeans like to call techno, that's not the fastest growing part of house. The fastest growing segments of house, if I understand correctly, are soulful house, so now that's spirituality, and Afro house, and that's our culture.
Right.
So I see the pendulum potentially swinging back, and then even in the political sphere, this is causing a lot of consternation in the Democratic, or some people call it the Democratic Party right now, because you've got a lot of Democratic socialists who are winning seats. Now it's driving the Democratic Party leadership crazy, and you got people like James Carville saying there should be a schism and we need to get rid of these people and all this sort of thing. But at the same time, you're increasingly seeing the left wing of the Democratic Party finally starting to flex some muscle. And the relatively cowardly, relatively craven Democratic leadership is starting to fall back. They just had this big bill on cutting aid to Israel. Sure, it went down. It went down 300 and something to 103, but 102 of those votes were left-wing Democrats. The centrist Democrats, including Hakeem Jeffries and James Clyburn and a number of other people, the establishment Democrats, they voted against this addition to the bill that would have pulled $3.3 billion in military spending away from Israel. But one Republican, Thomas Massey, the sponsor of the bill, and then 102 left-wing Democrats voted for it, and 93 establishment Democrats voted against it. So what's that tell you? 102 to 93. I think you're starting to see a political change going on already. Independent parties or no independent parties, you're starting to see that, and it's happening within the Democratic Party. And if the Democratic Party decides that we're going to just go ahead and get rid of them, not only will they have basically pulled the mask off of themselves for us to see, and the whole two wings of the same buzzard trope will come up again, but also they kicked them out of the Democratic Party. That's 102 congressional members who could lead the charge to form an independent third party. So I just see a lot of things potentially happening there. I see some possible dominoes falling. And then after enough of the people in the Republican Party, if they ever finally get indicted and convicted like they should have been long ago, then that's going to decimate their ranks too, because they'll all be wearing orange jumpsuits. So now who's going to step into that political void? So to some degree, I think, some of us have to teach each other. I think a lot of us could learn from Davon Love's political analysis and from Baba Imhotep's Pan-Africanist analysis and from the work that you're doing in UNIA. We could learn from that. And then at the same time, if we can resuscitate the Maryland Council of Elders, get it back to a serious position of strength, and getting a number of people involved in the Maryland Council of Elders who were not involved in it before, then maybe we'll have a group of elders who then can participate in going out to some of these schools, talking to some of these young people. But some of them, I can tell you, I'll say Baba Youssef would probably be somebody. He could walk into that classroom, and I would not be surprised at all. And of course, now I'm kind of putting him out there with this. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he could walk into one of those classrooms and have a lot of those young people eating out of his hand with what he can tell them. So something like that. Something like that, if we can turn that into a systematic kind of a thing, and we can get cooperation from whoever's in the school system, and we can put that out there to as many schools as we can, and do it in elementary school, or will you call it grade school? We called it elementary school when I was.
I don't know what they call it now. I guess it's elementary. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think that could bring us back. That could bring us back to where the family can be as strong now as it was then. Back then, I think we probably also had more families that weren't broken up, that weren't split. You probably had more two-parent families than you have now. But I've seen young families in the grocery store. I was in the food line not too far from me yesterday, and as I was coming out, there was a relatively young family. I'm saying that the parents were no older than 30 or so, and they had young children, and they were coming. mother, father, they're coming out there, and they were parking right next to my car. And I was getting into my car, and I heard the mother say to her man, she says, I'm so excited, baby. Now, I think a lot of us might not have expected to hear that.
What was she excited about? I'm lost.
Whatever it was that the family was getting ready to do.
Got you.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I have no idea what it was. Just the fact that she was expressing enthusiasm to her man with their children there. And I was thinking about that. I was like, maybe there's hope for us after all.
Well, let me, Brother Cliff, before I let you go, Baba Yusuf said, one thing is certain, he knew that's where one thing is certain, he knew, I guess, about the area because that's where his godson, Victoria Swift, was murdered behind that 7-Eleven. So he knew when he went in there. And Sister Basima says, well said. All right, Brother Cliff, I'm about to close out. I just found out my son is here, and my wife made and my daughter was cooking shrimp and stuff, and so I probably only got nothing to eat.
There's another one of those families that lets me know that there's hope for our people.
I appreciate you, Brother Cliff.
All right, same here. Back at you.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, peace.
All right, family. Another great show. And again, the topic was supposed to be, and what we try to do on Real Truth and Power was multiple topics. We don't want to put you to sleep with one, but we talked about the Black families from 50 years ago to now. And then we talked about an incident with a good brother that I know that it's an elder, 70-something years old, that got attacked at a 7-Eleven, and just the issues that's going on with our community today. And we had a lot of comments from the education system to politics to blaming the parents to things of that nature. And the question is, and maybe we'll go into this next week, the question is, do we have to really start doing more? So I think somebody commented on YouTube, Pan African First said, it's time for us to, protect the community. We have to put our lives on the line a little bit because it's that time. It's on us now. I will say that much. We can't keep blaming everybody. We have to, the time is now. I always say that when my son was playing basketball and it's time for him to really go to work, I say, yo, the time is now. The time is now for us to make a change. We have a lot of great people and a lot of ideas and a lot of things that we can do, but the time is now for us to make a change. We can't keep complaining about the same old, and this has happened and that has happened. The time now is for us to make a change. We have to really sacrifice. We really, really love Black people. We really, really want our community to be better. We're going to have to sacrifice. We're going to have to sacrifice lives in the future for our future. And that's something that our great people did before us, the Malcolms and the Martin Luther Kings and Marcus Garveys and all of those great people. But we have to really sacrifice to make change. And that's maybe going to be one of the conversations next week. So before I close out, let me pay the bills real quick, and then I close out, sum everything up, and we could be out, family.
A boy dead on the street last week. Not from drugs, from violence. Nobody stand up, nobody move. Me got 6 weeks we build 100 man. Or Baltimore lose its soul. Back in the day, we protect we own. Now, enough talk, enough post. But Garvey, him leave with a blueprint. Stand up, uniform, discipline, unity. African Legion, it not dead. It a prophecy waiting to fulfill. Ma nearly walk away, tired, alone. But when that mother grab me arm and say, who I go protect my son? Me know, we not start no war, we restore order. Black unity, black honor, black discipline. This a we army, and it never left. Me name, Brother Tony. Join the Baltimore UNIA. Be the legacy or be the silence.
For those that don't know, that is the African Legion, the UNIA's Universal African Legion. We've been grinding really, really hard to the point where I think that we're ready to do some serious things in the community to get this thing together in Baltimore. You know, we've been grinding really, really hard. So if you're interested in protecting our community from situations that just happened last night, well, not last night, that we just shared the video of with the elder, 70-something, getting beat up by those kids at the 7-Eleven, to protecting it from outside, protecting outside and in, let me know. At Universal African Legion, been here since Marcus Garvey, and we're back and we're strong. Also, for those that don't know, we have a travel agency, Black Star Travel, the UNIA. So next Friday will be my last show because I'm going on a cruise, my first cruise, by the way. But we're still going to be going live. I think the show is going to be hosted by Brother James, our first Brother J. Rich, our first Vice, or we'll have some pre-recordeds playing, but we're definitely going to go on. But I want to share this.
I used to think vacations meant white sand and pool drinks, until I realized I was skipping my story. I've got 10 days to reconnect with my roots, or spend another year feeling like a tourist in my own identity. So I booked with Black Star Travel. They don't do tours, they build homecomings. Real connection, real culture, no filters. I thought I'd be the outsider, but the moment I stepped off that plane, I felt seen.
They weren't just places, they were pieces of me I never knew I lost. Travel with purpose, travel with pride, travel with Black Star.
And somebody just sent this to me from Chicago. I'm going to share this before we close out. See if I can share it real quick if I still have it. If you're in the Chicago area, there's going to be a drum fest. See if I can make that bigger. Drum fest, UNIA divisions. For those that are in Chicago, we have two divisions in the UNIA. Both two Chicago divisions in the UNIA, Division 429 and Division 401. They work together a lot, and they are hosting a drum fest, Spirit of the Drum, a Black community gathering, African cookout. Oh, dang. On Sunday, July 19, 2026. So that's coming up this Sunday from 12 noon to 7 p.m. Chicago time. And it's going to be at Washington Park. So for those in Chicago, definitely come check that out. And while we're here, man, please, we had another powerful show. If you didn't do it already, it's free. Bang that like button. Hit it. Smash it. My energy's up because I'm about to get something to eat. Smash it now! If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. UNIA Rock Media. Real Truth and Power. And not only hit the subscribe button, hit that alert bell. Go to YouTube and you can get all of our videos that we've been doing. And please also, YouTube, social media. We want Twitter, Instagram, everybody coming in. Twitter, hit that share button. Again, we want Twitter. We had somebody comment from Twitter, Instagram. Do me a favor, hit that share button. You may not be catching this live, but hit that share button. Get those algorithms out. And I always say this is not my show. This is our show. I'm just hosting and I'm learning and we're speaking and we're building, but let's come up with some results. So just to sum up everything, that we had a powerful show tonight. Sister Sarkette had mentioned, some of the issues with the youth is we need to have some rehabilitation spots for them to go have counseling, get meditation, to build, to learn about themselves. You know what I'm saying? It kind of what the rec centers used to do, but the rec is kind of like sports and stuff like that. I like how she broke down rehabilitation centers because it's more about cultural and things of that nature. And we talked about the families. Brother Kevin was mentioning, the single parents, and we talked about some of the issues. Sister Chanel, our outreach coordinator of the Baltimore UNI, chimed in and was saying, that a lot of parents are working. It's hard out here. We can't just blame the parents or generalize it because they're trying. And what are the solutions? And that's the issue that we have to figure out. What are some of the solutions that we have to do? Because we can't depend on the system. Like we said earlier, no one's coming to save us. So we have to save ourselves. And on that note, family, I'm closing out. I appreciate you. Again, Real Truth and Power, where we provide health, wealth, and knowledge of self. My ribs are touching. I'm starving. Going to holler at my sonnies here tonight. But I appreciate you as always. Again, please hit the share button and hit me up. Let me know what you want next week's topic to be, so we can get it in. Hopefully it'll be a current event and we'll add. But we want to do a couple of topics. So if you can think of something, hit me up. And again, thank you so much. Real Truth and Power, where we provide health, wealth, and knowledge of self.
Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community.
You think viral videos take days? Pixel's here to prove otherwise. No time. Everyone's watching. Your story has to pop. Every click counts. Every second spark a share. Boom! 100,000 views before lunch. But what if it still gets lost online? Not with Dynamic Media Legacy. Start your viral video now.
"60 seconds to erase this city or rebuild it from scratch." This isn't pre-rendered. No soundstage, no green screen. Every explosion, every storm, every alternate reality. We don't imagine worlds. We manufacture them. The future doesn't wait, and neither should your story. I didn't just save the world, I authored it. Dynamic Media Legacy. Your vision, our worlds. Built-in AI. Faster, bigger, impossible.
You think viral videos take days? Pixel's here to prove otherwise. No time. Everyone's
Baltimore don't sleep, we move. Hands in the dirt, feet on the block, food in the streets, knowledge to the youth. This ain't charity, this is power. The Universal Negro Improvement Association running the community like infrastructure. No permission, no waiting. Black self-reliance in real time. Legacy heavy, boots planted, all in the name of Marcus Garvey. UNIA Baltimore Division 106, Barker Clark. We working.
Used to think nature was a lie. Baltimore don't have forests, just corner stores and concrete. But then I heard UNIA hikes every Sunday. I thought, what if I just show up? I gotta reach that ridge before sundown, or miss the moment that's waking my whole spirit up. Bro, it's not just trees, it's legacy. Elders dropping Garvey wisdom while we climb, youth beating drums, sisters laughing under waterfalls. We see hawks, foxes, fire in the sky. City stress, gone. Every Sunday we reclaim the wild like it's our birthright. First time I touched river water, I cried. This ain't no hike, this is revival. Every step, we get louder. Every week, more of us come. This is Marcus Garvey's army in hiking boots. Black unity, in motion. Now I don't walk alone. I lead the line. Dwayne, UNIA. Follow for more and come hike with your people. Sundays, Baltimore. Marcus Garvey's UNIA.
They told me I was dying, but I wasn't ready to go. I dug into the dirt, prayed over seedlings, raised chickens, bees, watermelons bursting with color. Then the UNIA said, this isn't just a garden. They called it liberty. Now the bees hum freedom. My backyard feeds bodies and spirits. But the fence can't hold the harvest. Our people are hungry. Our youth, they're starving for purpose. We need space. We need you. Join the UNIA. Learn to grow food inside and out. Hydroponics, farming, healing, dignity. This isn't agriculture. This is liberation. They buried us. We planted back. Not charity, sovereignty. We turn hunger into harvest. That's power.
For generations, we've been told that our vote matters, but a question remains. Has it consistently delivered the results our communities have been seeking? Many believe the time has come to build independent political power, to organize, to participate, and to pursue a different path. The Newsom Party says it's time to put Black communities first. The choice has always belonged to us. Our vote, our voice, our future. The Newsom Party. The next chapter begins with the people.
It starts the moment we open our eyes. We're born with emotion. Life shapes it. Challenges sharpen it. The world throws chaos at us, but we learn the patterns. We master the storm. We fall, but together, we rise. This isn't just fashion. It's armor. It's proof you've earned every piece of who you are. Emotional intelligence. Wear your evolution.
History doesn't remember those who stood on the sidelines. History remembers those who organized. More than 100 years ago, Marcus Garvey inspired millions to believe that a people could rise through unity, organization, and self-determination. Today, that legacy returns to Baltimore, now for 6 unforgettable days. History, culture, education, and purpose come together. This is more than a convention. It is the continuation of a movement. Join President General Michael Duncan and Garveyites from around the world at the 68th UNIAA-CL International Convention, August 18th through August 23rd, Baltimore, Maryland. One God, one aim, one destiny.